Run VT. Good evening, welcome to Flory Models Thursday night show. Here we are, 7:30 on the 4th of June 2020. After a bit of a cloudy day today, but it's nice to have a bit of a break, a bit cooler, and my water butt still in full. But that's enough of my problems. How is everybody else? We trust you're all doing very well out there. We are live across the airwaves as always on a Thursday night. So everybody in Floryland, good evening to all of you. I had a bit of trouble getting in the chat. That's why we were a few seconds late. But we are all up there and good now, so that's all fine. Remember, if you've got any questions, please pop them under today's vlog show thread in the forum. Loads of you have done it already. We've got loads of questions coming in for you later. So if you can pop them up there, that would be absolutely fantastic. That would be fine. If you've got any questions that's a little bit shorter, pop them into the actual chat area. But remember, if you get skipped, don't blame us. Blame the software. Post it up again, so forth and so on. Okay, and good evening to everybody who's also in YouTube land as well. So good evening to everybody down in there. Lots of you watching in there as well and in the chat area. So it's lovely to have you all here. So I was supposed to get them and I haven't got them. I've left them out in the unit. Bugger. Anyway, the pigments are back in stock. Yay! It's the first thing that's come back in stock after the lockdown. So obviously we haven't had any pigments come in since January. So, but the pigments are back in stock now. They're up on the site. I did email everybody, had them on a wait order. So the pigment sets are in, or individuals, they're back in. Hopefully the clay comes in Monday, and then obviously it needs to be processed and everything. So it'll be back end of next week at the earliest, probably the week after, by the time they get bottled and labelled and all things like that. But hopefully the clay wash will be back in stock. Still no idea about sanders though. So unfortunately that's a little bit up in the air with all of that one. So we will see how that one all pans out. And apart from that, I've just been I've had a clean out today, and I was talking to the guys, I even washed out my sanders because we are still working and beavering away on, I've just put my fingers in wet putty, because again, this is on coat probably 6 of sanding, filling, sanding, reshaping and doing, but it's coming along. So this is just in that phase now where it's like, now it's had another coat just before I came on air, so that's got filler all over it, and the tail is done. So the tail is in again, it's got filler all over it, so that's in that process. The wings are done, they're sorted. The engines are horrible and gnarly and all the rest of it, but hopefully I think maybe by the weekend we should start getting it together, get the wings on, get the tail on. Engines are just going to be awful. Trying to mount them and work them out is going to be a bit of a magical mystery. To be honest with you, I'm still waiting on a few bits and pieces for this, for the masks to come in. I'll blame my supplier. And you can't see him, but you can hear him. He is in there. But anyway, they are winging their way down to me in the post system, but it's all a little bit slow at the moment, as we know. But anyway, that's my life. How's you guys? You all doing all right? How's it going, Andy?
Fine, thank you very much. Can I just say that they're all talking about Nathan's haircut in the chat?
Yeah, he's gone for broken bad look.
One thing I don't get is they're saying about how he looks with a shaved head, but he's had no hair for 30 years, so...
Just lost a bit here, really.
But yeah, they're fine. Yeah, no problem still. Just cracking on with me Kafir. It's nearly finished.
Yes.
Got wing tanks and things on it. Just needs a flat coat, a bit more weathering, bombs and things on it, and then it's finished. So hopefully by the end of this weekend it'll be done. And also my bed comes tomorrow.
Oh, the long-awaited bed. Where the action happens or not.
It's been about
or sleep.
3 months.
Was it Benson's, wasn't it?
It was Benson's.
Benson's for beds. Bless. Very good. Anyway, John, how are you? Been bitten by any dogs? How's your bum? Do not turn your back on them. That's all I say. Just walk out of everywhere backwards. You'll be a lot safer.
Yeah, but what were they bitten then?
Nothing.
So
yes,
thinking about...
I did see the lady concerned today, and she did apologise.
What, for biting you?
And assured me the dog doesn't normally bite. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I politely pointed out to her that I didn't care. I wasn't going back in her house again. So.
Well, that's what you get for being a burglar. It's your own fault. No, just to point this straight, if you don't know, John's obviously a postman. So, yes, he got nibbled last week by a Labrador.
On
That's
the
why you get
nibble.
having biscuits, because Lola would do the same. To be honest, she'd bite you as well if she thought you had a biscuit in you. She'd be trying to come through your trousers. So,
Yeah, I used to do that, to be honest, and then we got told off for doing it because apparently there was a case where one postman used to feed all his dogs biscuits on his delivery, and then he went away for a couple of weeks. The person on it obviously didn't take dog biscuits out. And let's just say wasn't very popular with all the dogs on that delivery.
yes, it is that tricky situation. As I used to know a friend of mine, and he was a window cleaner, and he got bitten by a dog. But the thing is, the owner was out. They came in after walking the dog, came in through the back garden like you do, let the dog go. Dog thought he was a burglar, I reckon, because he's up a ladder. So as he's coming down, this dog got hold of his calf and proper did some damage to it because they couldn't get the dog off him for a bit. But again, it's one of those, it's tricky, isn't it? Because the dog thought he was probably doing the right thing. You know, he's just seen a bloke up a ladder. All right, he's the window cleaner, but he doesn't know that. So, but yes, never mind. So they got a post box on the outside now, have they?
They have, yes.
So do you fold everything right up really small and put it in it? You know, where it, do not bend. Right, that's it. I'll get you for biting me, you bastard.
Can I just answer a quick question in chat, Phil? There's it says place an order, just about place an order in PM store. Do we get discount? If so, what's the code, please? No, sorry, we don't. You don't get discount on PM store. It's only on the Flory site.
Yes.
Discount for Phil's products. And then we also do the pre-orders on the site for the PM store as well. But
we'll talk about those as well in a bit. So yes.
But there's no discount code. We do discount codes throughout the year at times for members, but
but there's not an ongoing standing one right the way through. That's the thing. You get different discounts, shall we say, without going into too much detail on a public forum. So yes, very good. Anyway, John, how's the modelling work going? What have you been up to?
I'm working on
the proper size kefir.
Yeah.
Doing the Declan, which is fun.
How many so far?
So your big one to my little one.
Somebody ought to do a 30-second one now, just to
I do have to say I am determined I'm going to put them all on.
Right.
All of them.
Like I'm sure Andy did.
Yes.
I've put 90% of mine on.
I've got to say, they're better than the ones on the Delphin that I did, the AMK Delphin, because they were really thick and wouldn't go down. These are quite thin. The only drawback with them is they've got a hell of a lot of carrier film, especially on the small stencils, and it's got a tendency to roll up on itself.
Right.
I don't know if that shows up or not, but everything that's got a yellow mark
is missed.
Yeah, he hasn't bothered with.
I've put on.
You liar.
Is that the real instructions for it? Have you blown them up or nicked them from somewhere else then?
No, I scanned them and blew them up because you couldn't see the thing. Don't forget mine's 7 seconds. It's like that big.
All I've got is that bit now on the bottom to do.
Right.
It'll be done.
So he's got a whole A4 page.
Yeah.
Mine's where's mine gone? Mine's A5 page. Can't even find the thing for it now. And I get half an A5 page. He gets a full A4 page. So yeah, I blew them up.
There you go. But you get doing small things.
It's my weekend off, so hopefully I'll get this pretty much wrapped up the weekend.
Very nice.
Because I want to get started on my little Heinkel for the Bulge to Berlin sig.
Chris says Phil's got to do a 30-second one.
Yes, and then somebody do a 16th or a 24th. Anyway, Nathan, that's a tornado I can see.
It is. I've filmed about 16 minutes of the final part now.
Right.
I've weathered it, flat coated it,
Drop the camera on it.
dropped the camera on it, knocked a load of bits off, put them back on. And if it wasn't for me knocking the bits off, I think I'd actually have a finished tornado on the desk now. I'm really close to finishing it. So I've done like a filter with the black Flory wash. I've just done like an overall filter.
Yeah.
To sort of airbrushed it on to give it that really sort of grimy mucky look. So it's really, really close to finishing. I'll finish it tonight. Perhaps after this, I'll get it finished.
Very nice.
Happy to
Very
get
cool.
it moved on now.
Yes. And the voice from above, there he is.
Hello.
How's it going, Matt? Have you finished
I'm
your
alright.
Sherman yet?
Not far off. I've got to do the tracks. There we go. Look. I've got
Very
wheels
nice.
on it, and put the tracks on it. Put a bit more mud and rubbish down the running gear, and it's done.
Very nice.
Looks cracking in that camo.
It does. I said to him when he showed me and him on yesterday, we were saying about it. I actually really, really like it in that camo. Shermans actually don't do much for me because I think they're just
No.
blocky, and everything. But it's actually really nice having a camo like that. It makes it all pop and come to life. Looks like proper
It does.
meaning
It's
that.
good. It's a good scheme, actually, isn't it? I
Yeah.
have to say, it's. I'm glad I picked it. To be honest, rather than just because they did just do a green one, I think I could have done, but I'm glad I picked that one. So yeah. So yeah, I'm nearly done. So I've got to do the tracks, and that's it. Well, only rubber band tracks. Hopefully, they won't take longer than a coat of paint and weather them up, and job done. And then I might actually stick it on its face.
Very nice. Very nice.
Nothing special. I think just there we go. It's something going to get something as of like that.
Very nice. Yes. Very cool.
A winter scene.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, it gets cold in Chile.
Well, that's why it's called chili.
Yeah, exactly. So yes.
Very good. Right, I'll pop you back in your box. There you go.
Yeah. Thanks.
There he is. Anyway, as always on a Thursday, what we thought we'd start off with is a quick look round. And as always, the team's been brilliant and hasn't bothered, but Nathan has. And he's picked out some of his favourites because everyone else forgot. Okay,
No,
this
we-
week.
We
can
saw
tell
that Nathan that did it.
He's
So it's
the
all-
only one that's done the homework.
Yeah, he's the only one who's done his homework, which that's why he's a teacher and you lot aren't, clearly, because he's leading by example, So that's it. At least he had drive off for an eye test. Anyway, what we thought we'd have a look at is, hold on, I've got my buttons all round the other way. First of all, we've got Alan. Alan, I think, messaged everybody about this particular kit and asking about, does it have a toilet in it? And we've all seen this as well, because we all went to Duxford last year for DAX, and it was in there as well. So this is Monty's Caravan. So that's a picture of the real thing. And he's done a cracking little diorama here,
Yeah.
as you can see. So do you want to talk us through it, Nave?
When you look at it, it's busy, but not too busy. So there's loads to look at.
Yes.
And it's one of those classic Matchbox mini diorama type things. I mean, there's something to be said for these Matchbox kits, because look at that. You would no way, and that could be a new tooled kit.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. That's it. To see that, you would never think for a minute that kit is 40 odd years old.
No,
Yeah.
does such a good job. It looks like it's bang up to date sort of mini art. You can't even tell what scale it is.
No.
Look at that. It's brilliant.
And I have to say that was one of my favourite kits when I was a kid that my dad built me. I love that, and I'd like to do it again. If I'm honest, I keep looking, and I would have another blast and have a go now and to see what it's like. But yeah, I love that, because I think there's one coming out in 35th, and if there is, because I know they're bringing out a Leyland Retriever that's based on. So if they don't do it, it'll be criminal. But they've got to do Monty's Caravan, or at least one of them, and then I'll definitely build that.
Yeah.
I'll definitely do it in 35th.
It's just, I mean, you can't. It needs a pot of paint next to it to remind you how small it is.
It is, yeah. Yeah, you could do with something like that.
Was that the Italian one that they end up pinching, or was it?
Yeah, it
the
was.
other one, the Italian one.
They nicked the back bits off in Italian General, innit? And I think Monty had 3 of them. He had 3 different caravans. He had one built for D-Day, and then 2 that they'd apprehended in North Africa that they put on a Leyland Retriever chassis.
Yeah.
This one was his living one. He had another one, which was his map one, and then so they're like I said, they're cracking little kits, aren't they? Kev needs to have a blast at one of them, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just this scale for armour. I think it's been forgotten for decades.
Yes. Yes, I agree.
Look
Been
at
very
that.
overlooked.
I have to say I'm warming back to that sort of scale, and after doing the one when we did when I did the West, the Matchbox West,
Yeah.
I'd like to have a go at a more modern kit in probably 72nd because I think that's where they go now. But yeah, just to I think it's quite a nice scale and the details getting better as well. It's like 72nd aircraft. With details coming down to 72nd sort of armour and stuff as well. So yeah.
Definitely. Very, very nice indeed. Cool job.
Yeah.
Okay, so up next we've got Richie's Firefly.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I like a Sherman. So,
In green.
Just as we were slagging off a green Sherman.
just as that's the thing that this build has done, is it's stayed well away from just a block of green.
Yeah.
It's weathered, it's nicely, it's just, I mean, look, it's just, it's just,
Why is the
looks
tracks? Is that
Yeah, I was looking
normal?
at that, yeah.
What's that? What is it? Is
it's for going round corners.
I've got my metal one outside's like that. I've got some tin one that me wine bottle and it's patinaed very nicely. But
Let's go
yeah,
back. Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what
the
I've
track's
got.
not on right on one side. On
Yeah.
one side.
Obviously one's forward, isn't it?
Minor technicality.
Perhaps it's
Yeah.
just the track hanging over a bit.
Yeah, so if you look at the next one down, it's not on the rear sprocket.
Yeah, yeah.
But is it the rear one? I think it could be the wide angle lens, you know.
Yeah, perhaps it just needs tucking up in there, and that's just exaggerated by hanging back. So yeah, it just needs to be pushed in. It's probably dropped on the camera, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mine done it. To be honest, I can actually go with you on this. If you look very carefully at one of my ones, armour ones, it's done exactly the same thing. It's dropped off the sprocket on the front, and on the rear, it's pushed it all back, and I didn't notice it when I photographed it. I think I got away with it. No one mentioned it.
It's
Not like us, just now.
It's a Ryefield one. I just think the weathering was one that caught my. It's a paint finish that's really good.
Is that the right field one?
Is it Ryefield?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Very
yeah.
nice
That's
indeed.
for the bulges, so it's nice to get.
Very, very nice. Cool. Okay, next up we've got Mr.
Oh, oh.
Robinson's.
Yeah.
This is the Hasegawa 32nd G10. Ooh.
It's a kit that's getting on a bit now.
Yeah.
Must
Nah.
admit, I've built loads of those.
A bit like Grin.
Hey?
Yeah.
What, getting on a bit?
Don't
Now,
be
knowing
Grin.
Bryn, hey, now knowing Bryn as I do, that
I
is
was joking, mate.
That
See.
is really not his scale 32nd at all.
Yeah, normally he does the smaller
72nd
stuff.
40.
It's a nice clean build, and it's obviously a Luftwaffe 109. So I'm a
Are we
bit
sure the
back.
colours are all correct? Just
They
saying.
could have be good to me. I mean, that's one thing you get with 109s is the geometry is a bit of a bugger to get on the front, but it's nice. It's a nice, well built 109.
Yeah, you got the spiral on the spinner done nice.
Yeah.
Because that's
Expect to
always a
see that on the
pain in
Luftwaffe
the
stuff.
arse.
I think
Nice
the
work,
bits,
Bryn.
yeah.
Good
Next
job.
model show rather. I reckon I've done a Luftwaffe SIG table there. It's a nice tidy build.
Very good. Right, okay, you guys talk amongst yourselves because I've got one as well, but I've lost it a bit. Hold on, let me just swivel about. Who's knocking?
It's
who-
not. It's the neighbours with the music on. Can you hear
Oh,
the
is
bang?
it? Oh, is it? Oh, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been quiet all day, and then they've just cranked the bloody music up.
Rave on!
It's crazy.
Get your glow
You know
sticks
what?
out.
Probably Boyzone or something.
Right, hold on. Where's mine? Oh, Jesus, where is it?
He's lost it. He's probably lost it.
Hold on.
Andy's got an announcement to make anyway, ain't you, Andy?
Yeah, you can do that in a sec. Right, okay, my one is Rob's
Oh,
22-incher
Wait. He wishes.
Eagle.
Yeah, that's what they say there, yeah.
To be honest, we were talking about giving it a scale effect. This is the trouble with this. This could be the 72nd little baby one like I've got, because I've got this kit. John's got the big version as well. And what you need is something next to it, like a small child. to give it some scale, because this thing's like 22 inches long, for God's sake. It's huge.
Has he got the turned aluminium nozzles on it, or has he painted them?
I don't know. Hold
Oh
on.
Christ! I wouldn't. But those are more than what the kit is, and the kit's not cheap.
I don't know. They look good. They
Do,
could
don't
be.
they?
Don't they?
They could be. I'll go back up in a minute and check.
Hey, Rob's in the chat, I think, in mine.
Oh, there you go. Rob's in chat. It says we're going back up.
It is a beast of a kit.
It is a beast, yeah.
That's really good.
It's a bit
Is that
flashy
the
as well. When we
40?
were looking at yours, it's a bit flashy as well for the clean-up. It's a bit of a nightmare on it. But look, it's all lit up inside.
All right. Cool.
Millennium Falcon was going to look a bit like this originally, wasn't it? And then they decided to change it because it looked a bit too like it.
Rob
It's a
said
bit
he's
like the SpaceX.
Yeah. Dragon capsule
Dragon,
types,
no.
yeah. There you go. In the field, literally.
Rob, that's not the moon.
To be honest,
No,
my lawn looks like that.
Yeah, it does, yeah. Bit barren.
The plastic nozzles.
it's
Oh,
more
right. He's
of
done a good job on that. Nice job.
Yeah, really good job. Yeah.
Very good
Well,
job.
a pen thing.
So, John, when are you going to start yours?
I have.
Are you
I painted-
inspired now, are you? Look.
Hang on. I did make a start on it.
Oh, right. Is that as far as you got, the figures? Brilliant.
That's it. Yeah. But it's a start.
No, good job on that. Love it. See, for me,
No, it does look,
I've got
that
the
does
mini
look good.
version. I've got the baby one with the big pack on it, which I've had kicking around forever. So, yes. Precision fit resin parts. So, yeah, and you can do the base as well. Look, you get the base if you want to do the base. Cool. Good kit. I've had it a while. You can tell that 'cause it's covered in dust.
That Molotov looked cracking on the exhaust there, didn't it?
Yeah, nice job on that. Very, very nice. Cool. Right, next up, we got a couple of things just to cover for the members more than anyone else. We've got some of the pre-orders are coming to an end, aren't they, Andy?
They are.
Over to Mr. Molyneux to talk us through these as I show them on screen. Hold on. Hold on. Don't say anything yet. Don't start. I've lost the thing. There it is. Right. Okay. So if we start with the, well, we just whipped through them all. So first up, we've got a pre-order deal
Yeah.
on
The new Meng British Warrior with Tess.
which goes very nice with your Challenger.
Yeah. The one thing
Challenge
that
you.
we have noticed is how good a value the Challenger was, because the retail price is out of our hands, but that is the retail price of the kit. Obviously, we've discounted it a bit and also not 10% off. So, but yeah, it'll be a beautiful kit, no doubt, from Meng.
Yes.
Surprised it's got no interior, because the original Bradley came out with interior, didn't it?
Yeah, but that's got full working suspension and wheels.
Yeah,
and
true, yeah.
tracks.
Yeah. Let you off, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, knowing Meng, they'll probably do a resin interior for it
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wine, Women and Song.
Yeah, which is the Hasegawa kit, cracking kit,
it's
which
very
we've got
good.
on specials at the moment. But, oh, is this one we're stopping on Saturday, Matt?
Yeah.
No.
No.
No, this one, right, you need to put your orders in literally for it tonight because they're in stock at one of our suppliers and I'm going to pull the trigger.
Yeah, that's what I said, yeah. So,
Yeah.
And I want to do it ASAP. So we want really, if you want one, please put your name down like now. And then I'm going to pull the trigger on this order to get them in. And hopefully they'll be here for some time next week.
so we're going to say midnight tonight, UK time,
Yeah. And I'll pull the trigger on the
pull
order.
the trigger, then so, tomorrow morning back and get them ordered, and
Yeah.
yeah, we should get them in next week, yeah.
So yeah, so there you go. If you do thinking about it, you want to go for it on the pre-order deal and all the rest of it, get in there, get your name down, and then obviously we'll do the count up at tonight, and we'll pull the trigger on it tomorrow. So then obviously the pre-order will end, okay? Because obviously we get that amount comes in plus normally a few, but obviously we can't guarantee it at that point, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and what else have we got?
The limited edition.
The very limited edition, which I sort of mentioned, and now every airwall wants one. I thought it was just going to be me. But apparently now everybody wants this kit. Don't know why.
This is also going to finish tonight.
No, Saturday.
Saturday on this one. Yeah.
Oh, I keep thinking it's Friday today, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. This one's going to finish on Saturday. It'll be strictly first come, first served, because we've got an amount coming in.
Which will cover. It will cover what I can get in.
Which will cover. So, yeah, but, you know.
It'll never sell.
There are naysayers amongst us who, because of what it is, said this would never sell.
See, and I said it would because I want one.
And that was actually me said it'd never sell. And yeah, we've up to nearly 50.
So come on, guys, let's all prove Andy wrong. Join me, because I reckon. Don't actually build this kit. Just keep it in your stash. It'll be worth a mint. It'll be one of those in 30 years' time that will be going on eBay for a fortune.
Just while we're thinking, there is a date for the arrival of that, and that is the 10th of July. Around that date. So, what we're on the 4th, so just about a month and a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'm going to end it Saturday, cut off date. So if your name's down, happy days.
If your name's not on the list, you ain't coming in. Right.
And the other information is, I've got some Edard Lysanders coming.
Right.
After I said yesterday, I don't think we could get any and all that lot. Yeah. So we have got some coming in. They're going straight onto general sale, and they'll be in the shop as soon as they arrive. So keep an eye on the new arrivals.
So those of you who hunted around on eBay last night and bought one off eBay,
yeah, like Andy did,
like me.
Anyway, and don't forget, back to Andy's heritage. You bet you had one of these, didn't you, Andy?
6R4.
Yeah.
I wish.
Hey, there's one on eBay, right? 350 grand.
350 grand. Yeah.
Seriously, there's a link if you think on eBay, because I got one from Tone, who one of our customers.
A Metro 6R4 has got nothing to do with a Metro at all.
It's got the same lights.
Yeah,
it's got the same crappy headlights.
Yeah, but it's 400 brake horsepower.
What you mean to say it doesn't have that little thing on the top, the little floating carburettor where you used to have to put a little bit of oil in it?
No.
Is that an SU carb?
SU carbs, yeah. No.
Those things used to dry out, used to run like a sack of crap, and you put a drop of oil in it, it's fine.
But those things sound amazing in the forests, beautiful.
It's like a proper angry beaver. And last up, we got another version of that as well coming in, which is it's got the headlights on it, hasn't it? So, yes.
Yeah, one's a Monte Carlo, one's the RAC, Lombard RAC.
That's the
do we know when these are coming in, the Millennium Falcons, Matt?
Sometime over the summer. It could be next month, but obviously what's gone off, I don't know, to be honest. And obviously, our supply, I don't know. It was supposed to be July, August. I remember the initial, but I don't know to now at all. If I find anything out, obviously I'll let you know on the Wednesday shows when we do our PM show, if I can find out any dates. So,
and we still doing the sorry, I've got one more to go here. Sorry, I forgot this one, didn't see it, it had moved. There we go. We've got the full interior Ryefield models Panzer 4.
Panzer 4, Jay. Yeah, that's, as far as I know, the first Panzer 4 in 35th with full interior.
Yeah.
No, there is another one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Who? Go on, Andy. Who?
I can't remember. It's not mainstream. Who was it? Can't think.
Ryefield models.
He's scale mating, isn't he? That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's not Norris McWhirter, is he?
He's now treading water very quickly.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want us to do like hum a tune or something as he's on scale mates?
Talk amongst yourselves.
Scale mates is your friend.
Yeah. I bet put it up in chat by the time you've googled it.
What would we do without scale mates?
Anyway. We've got here, this is the Panzer 4, full interior, all the rest of it. As I say, we're doing a pre-order on that one as well. So if you want to put your name down for that. Do we know when that was due in, Matt?
later on in the year, I think. It's pretty soon, actually, or end of summer, something like that. So
Border models?
It was Platts, by the way.
Platts?
Yeah,
Did they?
Did they?
apparently.
Crikey.
Is that their own kit?
I was going to say, I didn't even realise Platts did a Panzer IV, let alone one with
you know
interior.
Yeah.
I didn't either. That must have been Japanese only market because I've never
Yeah.
seen it.
And they did it with a Girls und Panzer one.
All right, yeah, because we've got the Firefly, which was the old Tasker kit with the Panzer thing, and we had them Centurions as well, wasn't it? But, yeah, Panzer, well, it was Japanese thing, and it's for the Japanese market. But I never knew they did a Panzer IV. But there you go. We've
There you
learned
go. You learn something new every day.
You do. Yeah. Anyway.
Very good. Okay, well done everybody. If I just, we'll bring up our questions now. So if anybody wants to chat, talk about or anything else, or we just whip through the ones in the forum first, gents, and then we'll turn over to the live chat areas. If only I could find the section. Here we go. Live chat.
Dropped it.
What's he dropped?
The stirry stick.
Stirry stick. Okay, so here we go. Jeff is saying, Phil, Valinda products, which include posters you had, are available at Hysterex agents in the UK. So this goes back to me and Matt yesterday. We were talking about maps and posters and that, and Matt had a load, and I was talking about the ones we did with the tape, which came from Krista, by the way, have to say. Not dropping you at all, Krista. But yeah, Krista, thank you very much. He sent me the tape. But I'm sure he didn't pay a tenner for it because no one pays tenner. Anyway, so yes, very good stuff. But those maps, again, we were saying that Valinden did some as well and all stuff like that. So, but yeah, that's where that came from. Robert says, hi Phil, the world wonders, where is Steve? I know he's around on the site and you say, but that's not what I'm asking. Why is he not part of the team or going on to do his great video builds? I'm sure there's a lot of members that would also like to know. Well, so would we, because we didn't hear anything from Steve or anything really for sort of 6 months. So he went very, very quiet, but he has said he will come on next week. So on next week's Thursday show, he'll be on then. All right. Okay, Chris says, what is the best way to dispose of dirty or waste thinners from after tipping out your airbrush when cleaning? If poured into a, I think he means waste bin, on paper towels, is there any danger of the lacquer thinners like linseed oil or acetone? To be honest, that's what I do. I've got my cleaning station, but it evaporates in there, but occasionally I take it out. Well, usually it's dried out and it goes rock hard and you just bin it, and then I bin it. Anybody else do anything a bit more better?
I've got a pot like this that I pour bits in, and that's got some tissue in the bottom of it. And I've also got a cleaning station that I blow thinners out into with my airbrush.
I've just got an old Chinese takeaway tub. I put a towel in the bottom and then just pour it in, and then it dries out.
Drink it.
Or you could drink it.
It just evaporates. So if you just leave it on your paper towel, it will evaporate.
I was going to say, honestly, especially, it's a little bit different perhaps if you've got linseed oil, because that probably will take a while to dry. But for normal lacquer thinners and acrylic thinners and stuff like that, it dries pretty fast. It's a bit like occasionally this bit down here, I tip it directly onto this, literally out and on here a lot of the times, and then every few months it gets a bit thick because I just put a new bit on top, and then I just peel it all off in one and then bin it. As you say, in the old days I used to have like one of those incinerators in the garden. I used to burn everything, but I've stopped doing that now because I'm a bit more eco-friendly.
I've been caught out though where I've done what you've done, Phil, and just tipped it onto the thing. And then in the evening, I finished my spraying and I put my model on my cutting mat, on my mat in front of me, in front of my spray booth, and come back the following day and it's like stripped all the paint off it.
I must admit, I did something very similar, but luckily it was only primer. I've got one of these little tables here, and obviously they get a bit painty, don't they? Yeah. So what I did was, I actually, as I was cleaning out my airbrush, sprayed all of this, and then got a bit of kitchen roll and wiped it all off. put it down, and then about a few minutes later, I literally put a model on primer, and then when I picked it up, it's got that diamond pattern all over it, where it actually got into it, where it was soft and done that type of thing. So that's a close one as I did it on there. So, but yes, that's just thingy. But I must admit, I'm sure there's probably people who do very nice things with it, but I think we all just do it. The only thing I've stopped doing, which I used to do, was spraying it into the filter. I used to clean out my airbrush and just spray it in the filter, but obviously you bung your filter up really, and it's not probably a good job to do that at the end of the day.
Don't do that. I'd never do that ever.
No, they all do that. That's what they mean. By that, everyone, it means that's exactly what they do. That's why they keep saying, can I have some filter?
Matt's.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I did do today, which you might notice how clean this looks. I thought I'd try something different. When I was hoovering around here, because I had to do back where my bandsaw was, after doing this, it was a right mess. So I got my little hoover and I hoovered my filters, which worked, because you should have seen the crap in my little cleaner, my little pot in the bottom. It was actually loaded with it. And again, I've gone all the way around the sort of outsides of it and everything. The amount of dust that came out of it is incredible. So, but I must be, like Andy, due for a filter change soon.
My filter's perfect. The blue still.
Yes, it's like it's never used. Right, okay. Graham says, Model Master Clear Coat for enamels. Do you use it straight or thinned? To be honest, when I've used it, I use it neat. You can thin it though. I know if it depends on what type of effect you're going for. It's on the borderline between you can shoot it neat and it can do with thinning. It's a little bit in there, so you can just thin it if you wanted to. With obviously from that point of view, probably self-leveling thinners would probably be the best way. Don't know. Do you guys, have you shot it? Do you know it? That's the one we're talking about, square one.
Yeah, I've never used it.
Yeah.
It's pretty thin stuff, so
Yeah.
you know. I must admit, I've always shot it neat. I've never seen the warrant to thin it, but again, it's one of those, I think it's probably borderline. You can get away with it, but yeah, I don't think it would hurt it if you wanted to.
I'm just going to mute myself and take my tracks.
All right.
Cool.
And
Directions.
I'm using the Aztec.
Oh, are you? We ought to watch this. Put your camera in your spray booth. Yeah, go on, stick your camera in the spray booth and I'll put you on, because we all need to see this.
No, you won't. Hold on. Alright, I will. Hold on. Let me just shift that here.
Right, it says clear all materials and tones of thinner, see material complete surface, 15 minutes. I think you can shoot it neat. So, there you go. As soon as he sorts himself out, you can see Matt working his magic.
I don't think so. I'm wrong.
Okay, Gerald says, hi team, enjoying making my the F-16s, so I would like to attempt a Hornet. The team's thoughts on what is the best kit out there. Thanks for the afternoon shows, they were excellent. Jerry. No problem. To be honest with you, kinetics is probably where you want to go. Hold on, let's just find Matt. You don't need me, you can have Matt obliterating something. So yeah, so the thing is, I would say literally Kinetics one is the go-to kit at these days. Is he actually putting his mask on? Is he being good?
It usually is.
Yeah, he always wears.
Yeah, look, see, bless. And yeah, the Kinetic kit is the way to go. I've built it, absolutely loved it. As you know, I've done quite a few Hornets over the years, and I've built everybody's. And yeah, the Hasegawa one is still a good kit, but it doesn't have that quite level of detail you'll get on the Kinetic one. And the new Kinetic ones as well that you'll find, the new Ambush one that's coming out, which is exactly the same as the one I did, that's the new version, so it's got the upgraded front on it, so you shouldn't have any problems with the windscreen or anything else. What you can see now is Matt using an Aztec 470. Now, we've all owned one of these, for God knows what reason. So Matt's been sent one by one of our members to play with. You can see how fluid it works.
I think Matt suggested last night it's a single-use airbrush. Use it once and throw it away.
I said I'm amazed he found a coupling for the back end of that to his compressor.
He said it just screwed straight onto one of his outlets on his compressor.
Yeah.
It was the right size. That looks... Yeah, he'll be swapping over in a minute.
Yeah, we'll start throwing it in a minute. You'll see it sticking out of his filter.
He muted himself so you can't hear him swearing.
Yeah. Go on, give us a Brett Green impression where you put your thumb on it, because that's how hard you have to push down and pull back. There you go. That's it. That's it. That's why he does it that way, is because you can't use it any other way.
Is it actually working?
I was going to say, is there anything actually coming out?
Just don't know.
There he goes. Anyway, back to questions. So yeah, again, Hornet Ways, really you've got two options. The Hasegawa one for the Legacy Hornets, as in A, B, C, D. If you want E and F, then Hasegawa, because they're the ones who do the best Super Hornets. Steer away from the Rebel ones because they're not very good. Okay, Ed says, hi Phil, is there any difference between the Revel Contactia cement and the Tamiya Orange Cap cement in terms of adhesion and drying time, etc.? The Contactia cement is hard to get here in the US. If there is not much difference, I'll stick with the Tamiya Orange Cap. It would appear that the application tube on the Contactia would certainly make it easier to get into tight spots, although I've heard that application tends to dry it out and requires some work to clean it out. Okay, there's a secret to that, and that's called fire. So with Contactia one, it's a needle one. Hold on, we'll just come back to me for a sec, just turn that off. So it literally, the funny thing is, if you've got the small one, it comes with a smaller needle. And if you've got the big one, have I got a camera on? I have actually. Hold on, I can do an overhead to me. So these are the ones we're talking about. So the little one, and as you can see, this one's got like a burny look to it, and that's because I've set fire to it to clear it. So all you do is literally get a flame, you'll get a little jet of fire comes out the end, and then it's totally clear, and you can just use it. Okay, but these are the ones, Contactia cement. The reason I use them is purely because it's quick and it's easy, and you know, as far as where are we? There we go. As far as drying and stuff like that, they don't take that long. It's just not as nice, clean as using an extra thin. But I use them, to be honest, all around the wings. So it's what you'll see on this one when you get to it. Just to whip around the wings. We did it on the B17 as well, same type of thing. Because you can go round, you can have a think about it, push it together, manipulate it a little bit, get it all in there, get it going, get a bit of squish coming out, because this is really bad anyway, so it won't hurt. And then you can do it, clamp it all up right the way round, and it's a good strong build. Then you can come along, flip it over, and then come in with extra thin, as I say, the underside technique, and I just tap it on the underside so the capillary action goes in and gets drawn into any gaps as a finishing thing. But it's a great way of doing big areas and getting them down, especially if they're going to give you a little bit of trouble. So if you've got a situation where perhaps it's going to be a bit of an issues, like this one had fit issues, a bit lumpy bumpy, you need something with a bit more bite, that's what you want to do, is use to that one. As for it being the same as the orange top, I don't know, should we try? Can't get the lid off.
I think the orange is
I quite like using this for small parts. Put it onto something and use a cocktail stick or a toothpick like you would say with super glue, and just so you can use a small amount on small parts. It's quite easy to control.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's a little bit thicker than this stuff. That's the thing. It's quite thick. You can put it in, it doesn't go anywhere. It just stays, and it takes a while to dry. That's the whole point of really using it. I think it's definitely thicker than this. But at the end of the day, it's still the same thing. It's just a thicker, more of the original thin glues when they first came out. I remember using the Humbrol one when that first came out with the old brushy on there, because it was a bit better than using tubes. So it's very similar to that. But yeah, I think it's just one of those glues that's dead handy to have in your arsenal if you can get one. Sometimes, like these little mini ones, to be honest, they come out of the starter sets. So when if you buy a kit, so I know it sounds stupid, and I don't advocate anyone doing this, but buy a Revel starter kit and you'll get a bottle in there. You can throw the kit and the paints because they're crap, but just keep the glue. If you're finding them difficult to get, your chances are you might be able to find the starter sets quite easy. So, might be an idea.
You get quite a bit of glue in it.
Eh?
Quite an amount of glue in it as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they're not, as I say, to be honest, I've got the big one here. I only used the big one for the first time when I did the wings on this, and it's only because I couldn't find the small one, because I've been showing people, and yeah,
I've got both here.
25 grams in the big one.
12.5 in the small one.
There you go. So, but yeah, it's a substantial amount when you think, what'd you get in there?
I reckon the contactor's closer to the Tamiya white top glue.
Yeah.
In consistency.
The trouble is with the white top glue, it's not like a pure,
Resin.
it's a resin based one, not a weld action one.
Yeah.
Where the orange top, it is a weld action one.
Yeah.
So, yes. Okay, so there we go. Okay, George says, Phil, I've watched your build on the 172nd B52H and I'm building the Minicraft 144 B52H. How would you, or if you would, replicate the stressed skin on such a small scale? Again, you know, I did mine with a wood bit and chewed it up, and it was one of those ones where I tried, we tried the mini version, of which I've now got a drawer full of those little things. Do not buy whichever one. It was Steve who lent me his, and now you can go on eBay and you can buy, that's the big ones, hold on, where's the little ones? Got tiny ones in here as well somewhere, wherever they all are, or in another bag. I've got bags of them in here of all different sizes. Oh no, that's a big one, that's the little ones. Come here, little git. You can buy the tiny versions and you get the bigger ones online, and they're wood carving bits. That's what they are, and that's what they've been flogging you cheekily. And you can buy them, and they're dirt cheap. You know, obviously you do pay for what you get. These are carbon ones, high carbon content ones, so they should last a bit better. But again, you could probably do the thing, because these come in various sizes and grits and grades. You got, like, I've got proper heavy duty ones and smaller ones. I've got another bag somewhere, the other bag. But yeah, so from that point of view, you could give it a whirl, get the finer one, turn down the speed on your Dremel if you're doing it that way, and try that. And again, you're just being very light. Don't forget, you're causing an effect, so it's got to be subtle. You don't want it to be strong and in your face. You could do it that way, or again, the other way is to sand it, or you could do the other way I showed it, which was actually to put raised with using filler and then go amongst it. But honestly, in 144, I've got a KC135 down there that I might do one day. I think it'll be too small to really show it well. It's one of those effects which is, you know, it's subtle even on the real thing, you know, and then obviously you're going down through the scales, trying to get it smaller and smaller is going to get harder and harder. So it may be worth not bothering, if I'm honest. Like that KC135, it hasn't crossed my mind to actually give it stressed skin, so, because it is ickle. So yeah, definitely not. Stressed skin, ever tried it, guys?
I think in that scale, the only thing I'd try is doing something with pre-shading.
Yeah.
Or paint some black stripes on underneath.
Yeah.
But I've never tried it.
I can't say I've tried it intentionally.
I think it'd be really hard to get it in 144 looking right.
Yeah. I think in 144, you know, I don't think I would attempt it. I think you just say, like Pat Nathan says, maybe do something in post with shading wise and things like that to replicate some depth in your weathering.
Yeah.
Do it with paint myself.
Because
at least then, if it doesn't look right, you can just put a thicker. You can paint it out, can't you?
How's Matt done with his tracks?
Not very well.
Oh, so the airbrush didn't work very well then?
Back on his stand
Where's he
up.
gone?
No.
Hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
sorry.
we've lost your video.
Yeah. Why? What do you mean?
Oh no, we've lost John. Where's John gone?
John's gone.
Where's John gone?
He's gone.
Was he just bored, was he?
He's
His computer was alright, he was working away.
Have you cut him off?
I haven't touched him. Honestly, I haven't touched him.
I've not been watching the screen for obvious. Oh my god, that's awful. You really have got to use your thumb to make it work. I can see why Brett Green sprays how he sprays now, because you cannot do it normally because it's so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I forgot how uncomfortable they are to hold and use like a normal airbrush. You've got to hold it like you're having a toilet break.
Right, where is he? Is he going to come back?
I don't know.
Can I just get a question out in chat, Phil, while
Yeah,
waiting
go
for
on.
John to come back? Because Matt can answer this as well. It is Rob Wood. He's posted up a couple of times. Actually, says question: which 132nd Tamiya plane would you recommend as my first in the scale? Wife has given me free reign to get one for Father's Day.
F16.
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 If you like jets, F16. If not,
Spitfire Mark 9.
Spitfire, yeah.
It's out of stock actually. I would say the Mark 9, yeah. It's back in soon, but probably the Spit.
Have we got the F16 in stock?
No. Oh, actually, we might have one in.
Yeah, I think there is.
Yeah.
The Spitfire, the Mustang, the Corsair, they're all beautiful kits.
They're all good, aren't they?
They are really, really nice if you want to go down that route. I've got the Zero here to do. Look fine. I haven't built it yet, so we'll have to play with that one later in the year. But if you're talking aircraft, honestly, the Tamiya F16 is beautiful. As I say, avoid the F14 because the Tomcat's not nice anyway, and it's pretty old school compared to the others. The F15 isn't bad. The F15E, the Mud Hen one, the Strike Eagle, that's not bad either. They're all good, but they're not quite as nice as the F16 and the newer ones because they're a little bit older in the tooth, to be honest. So
What about the F4s?
Yeah, the F4s, a classic example. The F4 is a really, really nice kit, and you get loads of aftermarket for it as well, which I don't think it needs. So yeah, the Phantoms, any of the Phantoms are really nice. It's just they have little, not finicky things even. A lot of it is you get screws and things to screw them together. I don't never screw them, I just glue them, and I find them a lot better if you don't screw them.
Yeah.
I think you've sold an F16, Matt.
No,
Rob
there we
said
go.
he'll take it.
But the F16 is a no-brainer. It is an absolutely fantastic kit. Built loads of them now. I say I did one. There's a video build on it. You can see that one. It is one of those dream kits. It just falls together. It doesn't really need any aftermarket. It's really nice.
Yeah. Matt, Rob wants an F16.
All right.
I'm sure there's one on the top shelf, isn't there?
Sure there is, but I'll Andy will do it or something. I'll check if it's in stock actually, because it could be there and not even in shop. Let me just check while you're lot of tapping.
That'll be John.
That'll be John going. He's got to go.
He's not going to come back on and mess it up.
Right. Can you message him, Andy, and say, "Yep, no problem."
Yeah.
Tell him he's sacked.
I've got
Fired.
I think
Instant dismissal.
I think I've got an F16, 2 Spitfires.
Hold on. Just tell us what you haven't got. It'd be a lot quicker.
Yeah.
An F4 or a F15.
Have you got an E or a J?
Which?
Because obviously they did the E, which is the long nose 30-second
Oh
one.
no, I've got none of the F4s or
right.
none of the F4s or the F15s.
How can you not?
Or the F14s.
Hey, how can you not have an F4 when you're a proper Phantom fan?
Yeah, call yourself a Phantom fan.
Yeah.
Tish. Anyway, Richie says, alternatives to AK Extreme Metals, MRP or Alclads. I'm looking to move one. Looking to move one, as I had a couple of bad bottles. Have emailed AK several times over the past few months with the batch numbers, 0 response back. Okay, if you're moving away from it, then obviously the big thing is don't forget they're like enamels-ish hybrid things. So your option really is to go to lacquer at that point. So the MRP ones are very nice, to be honest. I do like their metal range. Good stuff. Our Alclad, again, really, really nice stuff. I haven't got one, but Matt's sending me down the Tamiya lacquers as well, because apparently they're really, really nice as well. They're not a true metallizer, but apparently I'm being led to believe that whatever it is, what's the number, Matt, you're sending down to me?
Is it LP38, I think?
It's something like that, but apparently it's like polished aluminium. It's beautiful. It's proper good. So
don't forget as well the super metallics.
Yes,
The
super
proper
metallics. Again, the
that
trouble
the one
is,
with
I don't
branded, you
think
mean?
they're like a metallizer. The super metallics are really nice, but they're more of a silver finish than a metallizer finish. You know. Because I've got them all there. They're very nice, and I tell you what I love about the super metallics for hand painting. Proper nice to, because you got all the thing of them being like a lacquer and working in capillary action with them as well. Works really, really well.
I like Alclad, but they're fragile.
And to be honest, that's why I moved away from Alclad in the first place, and I was looking for something else, because Alclad I used to wear through it.
You can't really handle the model much once the metal's on. With Alclad, that's the only downside with them. But they've got a good range of colours. That's one thing Alclad have got in their favour, is the range of metal tones is fantastic. But it rubs off, doesn't it? Literally.
Keith's saying LP38 is dull aluminium, but it's shiny.
Yeah. I think that's the one that Pranjit mentioned, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pranjit was mentioning about it. Yeah.
He's used it a couple of times. It's 38, yeah.
Right then, Rob, if you want the F16, it's actually in the sale bit.
Oh, there you go.
So it's reduced if you want it. So there you go. Guess what I'm using? AK crayons.
Oh, right. You're in your weathering pencils.
Yeah, I'm using the Rainmark one to see what happens.
I tried them on the Tornado and I just still can't get them to do what I want.
I've got it proper like a sharp. I've just found my sharpener. So,
Yeah,
This is where he scratches through his paint now.
Or drip quick, Rob, out of the special.
no. You need a light touch.
Oh, right. Okay.
Can't see a thing while I'm doing it. It's dark as open here tonight.
But there you go. Get you on full screen. Now everyone's moved around a bit. He's in proper widescreen mode tonight, look.
Could put do me over again, couldn't I?
What's wrong with Model Meister metalizers? To be honest, Shadow models, we can't get them over here. Can't get them anywhere at the moment. They've got a bit defunct.
I thought they'd gone out of business.
Well, this is what, yeah, but I've had people telling me that's not right, but well, I don't know. I have mine from the horse's mouth, but there you go. I don't like to, I might not have been. Right, okay. Hi, Phil and team. This is from George. He says, I'm building a 72nd Airfix Hawk, and I wish to finish in gloss white finish. What would you suggest to prime and paint it with to get the best finish? Many thanks, George. Okay, there's a couple of options with this. I'll just jump in first. You could go with black gloss and then put white gloss over the top. What that will do in 72nd, it'll give you a very solid looking white. Okay, it'll make it look proper. And it's something that I've done in the past. I often speak about it to make, especially small things like undercarriage, to make them look solid, heavy. Do them with black first, then put white over them. It's going to take a couple of coats, but it gives it a really, really good solid look. So there's no translucency through the plastic, so it makes them look a lot nicer. And obviously with the gloss black as a primer, it will look mint if you want to go for a really nice glossy finish onto it. You've got the usual things about, does it look right because of scale in gloss, because otherwise it might look like die cast. That's your only trouble to it. But that's how you could do that one. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I'm really liking Tammy's LP2.
Yes.
It's white's always one of those colours that I've struggled with spraying, like you said, to get. So even with black sometimes I struggle getting a nice looking finish. I think the tendency is you try and put it down too thick, don't you, in one go?
Yeah.
But LP2 I'm finding goes on really well for me. Yeah, I'd go with that. But like you said, over black works really well because then you get that solidness out of it, don't you?
Yeah, I like, because I say, especially with framings and gear, little tiny things like gear doors as well, they tend to be quite plasticky looking with just white on them. So I put a coat of black on, gives them a good solid look to them. So, yeah.
I've always used Alclad white primer. It's a microfiller as well, and I'll spray that, and it's flat, and then I'll put a gloss coat on top of this. I mean, it's only a 72 scale Hawk, isn't it? So I think I've always gone that route for white. I've not tried the LP2 yet.
To be honest, the LP2 is now my go-to white. I mean, white's always been my nemesis colour, even when I was proper painting. I hate white.
If only I could find a good stockist.
All right, well, that's it. Yeah, go to Tamiya and find out whether they're coming back in. But, I mean, I painted, what did I paint? The Audi, didn't I? The Audi Quattro was all white. And it is, like Andy said, it's just really nice to go on. You get a nice shine. It dries nice and even. It's just a good all-round paint. So I'd definitely say that. To be honest, the only other one I was thinking, because you was on about it, you wanted some LP2 or even some X2, wasn't it? Andy might have this. Have you got the Mr. Colour White at all? The lacquer. I never thought I could have got you some of that.
Oh yeah. That'd work.
Never thought.
No.
I forget we can get the lacquer range of stuff.
Yeah,
There you go.
I think.
So I bet that's pretty good stuff as
Yeah.
well.
Well, I've got US Navy White 316. That's
Is that Aqueous or Mr. Colour?
aqueous.
I'm on about Mr. Colour. What did you want white for?
Yeah, US Navy F14 white.
Because I just need white. I'm out of white.
Any white?
Well, I was hoping for glossy white, but as I say, that's why I was after LP2. I've literally got a smidge in the bottom of that, and that's all I've got left. That's what I was saying about we got any. X1 I could do with a bit more, I'd say purely to do the B17 next week.
Right, okay.
Before it has a metally finish on top. So
What's wrong with X2?
Can't get it.
can't get any bloody white. I said to him, we got any black and white? He's like, no. I've tried. We haven't got any in stock at the suppliers. He's like, beggar. And look. Well, I did have a case of it, didn't I? Because look, I've still got them here. But unfortunately, I've got 3 bottles and I was making up different colours, and now they're no longer white because I used them on the Discovery.
I think a couple of mine are probably different colours as well, actually.
I've got 3 shades of white here.
Bill, we've got X2 in stock. It came in.
Oh, right, okay.
It's the blacks we've not got. We've got XF1 flat black, but we ain't got any gloss black.
Yeah, it's the gloss black I was after.
Yeah, that was it. We ain't got any gloss black.
You ain't got any XF18? X18?
No, that's out of stock. That's God knows when we'll see that.
Bugger.
There's certain colours that's yeah. Yeah, we've got LP2s are back as well. So we've got the gloss whites. It's the blacks we haven't got.
Yeah.
We don't Aqueous do a gloss black.
Yeah, but yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah, that's the number 1, isn't it? H1.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got that in stock. I'm sure we have.
H2.
H2.
Yeah, H1's
Yeah,
white.
H2. Yeah, they do it the other way around, don't they? I think we've got that in stock. Yeah. So.
Yeah, things you learn. I didn't know. Look, let me stick this on the big one because I don't know if I'm like the only one who's just never seen this before in my life. But hold on, where are we?
Hey, you do realise when we finish this, there won't be any in stock?
No, probably not. You see this? This is how the colour code works for Mr. Piggy. So down on here, you got these little numbers down on this side of the label. So if it's got a P, it's a primer. C's a car, A's an aircraft, T's a tank, S for ship, and if you've got 2, it's for World War II. So yeah.
Did you never know?
No, I didn't know what the last digit on this bit meant on this side of the label. I know these ones where it's got. I knew what that was, where it's got like GG for like gloss and all stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then obviously you got the US markings and that, but I never realised what those were down that end of the label. New one on me.
There you go.
Wow. Mind of information tonight. Right, okay. Okay, Darren says, Scale Modelling are reporting that Tamiya Airbrush Cleaner is a cheap alternative to Mr. Tamiya Thin Cement. Apparently, works just as well. Can you experiment with this and see if it is true? Why do we have to do it?
You do it.
You do it, because we can't buy that in the UK. It's not available. It's illegal.
To be fair, for us to get it, it's about 20 quid a bottle. Which would make it more expensive than buying
extra thin.
Yeah, you get 4 bottles of extra thin. Well, 1 4. 6 bottles of extra thin for that.
Yeah, we have to get it in through like Hong Kong or Taiwan, don't we?
So you go. Somebody who can get it and try it, and we'll see what it says. See what they come
just
back.
Very quickly, Phil.
Yeah.
Matt, can you get any more F16s at the price where I'm in the sale price area for? Because David Johnson wants one.
I don't know, because there's a reason they were that price. I will check. I will ask and see if we can get any more. If anybody else wants any, let me know. Because the more I get, I can probably do a better. You know, I can negotiate, shall we say, for a better deal. You know, if that makes sense with our supplier, I've got a bit of wiggle room. Then, if I only want one, it'll be probably normal. But if I can get like perhaps even 3, because it comes in boxes of 3 a carton, there might be a bit of wiggle room. So
that's why I had the last ones, wasn't it? Because some others.
that was the Mozzies. It was the Mozzies I managed to get.
Oh, Mozzies, wasn't it? Yeah.
Raining again.
Is it raining? I'm
It's
reindeer
raining.
today. I'm complaining because it rained yesterday, but my water butt's only half full.
So, David, if you just PM Matt and let him know, he can then find out the price for you. And anyone else, just PM Matt and he'll find you, sort it out.
Okay, Dino says, a quick one about extractor ducting. So, have your bench vents and you need to vent outside. 100mm rigid plastic ducting is available at DIY stores, but is harmed by lacquers and airbrush cleaner, other aggressive chemicals. Anyone had theirs melt or any other damage by the hobby paints thinners during use? I guess the length of the flexi duct supplied with the bench vent is already rated to be used with chemicals, but what about post-purchase DIY add-ons? Well, I've had mine here now for the last how long? This is solid. Mine's like the letterbox, 100mm letterbox type, because I've got that unique system where it goes together. Then I've got an anti-return on both, and then it goes up, all solid, and then it goes to a flex, goes out the wall, and mine's
Surely
never melted.
if your filter's doing its job right,
Yeah, you shouldn't have any wet product going through.
it shouldn't be that much lacquer going in anyway, should there?
No. Oh, that's gone 8-bit.
Yeah.
Yep, don't go off because you'll kill my screen. Stay there, you can come back in a minute. You just look a bit grumpy at the moment, it's fine. Gloss over him, everyone. But honestly, I've got this plastic one here and it's been on there now for the last 5 years and it's not gone squishy or mushy or failed me yet. And to be honest, I had it all apart a couple of weeks ago, just because the duct tape had lost its sticky, and I could feel a draft, and it was like, the hell's that? And that's what it was. The duct tape had given up because I didn't actually glue the piping all together. I've left it as duct taped it because that way I can get it apart if needed. And yeah, but anyway, it seems to be working all fine. No problems at all. Nothing looked like it was melted. It all looked hard and solid, and so it should be okay.
I'd be amazed if there was enough of anything going through after it's gone through your filter and the fan to actually do anything, unless you're spraying your airbrush down at your filter.
Yeah.
Matt.
As I say, I think again it's one of those things. It's minimums and stuff. You know, I've never heard of it. What?
You didn't hear that, did you? You didn't hear any of that, did you?
No, I didn't.
I said at least I use my extractor, unlike somebody sat there.
Yes. Yeah, that's the point. How would Andy ever know? He's never turned it on. He ain't even got a plug on it.
It has got a plug on
He
it.
used that for the kettle years ago.
Shell's probably beats a fuse out of it for hairdryer.
Yeah, that's it. Like you'd know. Okay, John says, Phil and team, anybody heard anything about the Model Collect B1? Keep up the great work, boys. No.
Gone quiet.
It's gone very quiet.
To be
But
honest, there's a bit of a theme, isn't it? Because if you like, Kitty Hawk have got various things coming down the line, but no one's seen them, like their SU-25 and stuff like that. And you know, there's supposed to be other helicopters coming out. They haven't. So we were guessing that obviously the China thing is still moving down, and as things coming down through the line. But I don't know how close theirs is to being released anyway before everything happened. So
yeah, I've not heard anything as of yet. So I have heard the Dragon 1144 one's coming back out. Yeah. And that when was the last time we seen that? That was blooming ages ago,
well, I
isn't it?
built it, didn't I?
No, yours was the Panda one, wasn't it?
Yeah, isn't that the same kit?
No.
Oh, is it a different one? Well, the thing is, the Academy's the nice one now, isn't it? That 144 Academy done. There's a really nice one. Somebody's building that on the forum at the moment. Looks really, really nice. Done a good job on that.
It is if you can get it.
Yeah.
Usual Academy, innit?
Stuart says, hi Phil, how is the progress on selling those wash bottles with their own nozzles and top? I'd like to get a few of those 200ml bottles with the tops and everything on. To be honest with you, I've spoken to my said supplier about it because I'm still waiting for a restock on bottles. I've got a couple of thousand here, but we keep lots, thousands and thousands of bottles on. They only went back into production this week. And again, as far as they know, like I said to them, I'm not in a mass panic, so I've got a couple of thousand bottles here, but I've got a restock of bottles on order, and I've added those bottles with the nozzles and everything into that order. So it may be a week yet, a week or two before they turn up, but as soon as they do, they'll be here and all the rest of it. Price and stuff, I don't know yet. I was going to do a pack of labels that comes with it. So the idea is you can then put a label and either write it on what it is, or I'll pre-do them of what it is as well. So you can have a little label thing for putting labels onto them, so you can identify what products you got in with them. I thought about it, that'd be a nice touch. So I'll do it as a little pack with all the stuff in there like that. Krista with the tape. Hi Phil and gang, there are a lot of talk about decals on aircraft. For me, it's not the number of decals, more the decals that are good and easy to handle. I do as you feel, I soak them and then lay them out on the table and then use a brush to place them for easy use. Yes, I must admit, I usually have them right here. I soak it, put it down, all the rest of it. Although John, God bless him, who's now left us clearly, he was on about this. I have tons of this stuff. So this is like, you know when you peeled a label off, what you have left? So it's like greaseproof paper stuff. So John was on about, he wanted some, and I've got packs of it for him here because we've got hundreds and hundreds of sheets of this. And so what I did with the last time was I had a bit of this out, and it works quite well because it works like blotting paper and keeps it, you know, saves you a mat, and it holds the water better. So that's an idea. If you get a sticky sheet, you have the backing from it and use that, because it holds the water, it doesn't let the water soak through, and it just holds it on the decal, keeps them wetter longer and stuff like that. But I like to keep them flat. And also if you do it on here and it hasn't got gallons of water, they don't float off and end up in a pile, because you know it's like if you got it on a big sheet and it's hanging, they all slide to the bottom or wherever it is. So it keeps them all nice and you can have more on the go at once.
So could you use one of them sponges I use for a wet palette?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you could probably use a wet palette exactly the same way.
Yeah, okay.
So
the thing about the talk about decals, it sort of like started when we were all building the Phantoms together, wasn't it? And there was that many stencils on it. We were all like saying who's putting all stencils on, and did anyone actually put all stencils on? Matt put all stencils on. But then ever since then, it's sort of like always been. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whenever we're doing a build now, it's like stencils. And then I did my Ed of MIG recently, and then I was on with the guys one evening looking at the actual real ones, and you couldn't see a single stencil on any of the real ones, could you?
No.
At all. No, so I thought, I'm not putting stencils on. So
got to back you up with that one though. There wasn't
a single stencil on any of them.
No, there weren't one stencil. I don't think you could see, because the ones you had as well was it red or blue, or there's a really bright colour, weren't there, that would stand out if it was actually on the real.
Yeah, red and blue. Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't like black or anything that blended in or whatever. There was a proper, and it just definitely didn't have any.
Yeah, so it sort of like just since the Phantoms really, when we were messing around with stencils on them.
Do you know what? I don't think I could manage another Phantom with that. I don't like decaling, and that was just a pain. That was a pain.
Traumatized.
Just going to Phantoms. So you know when you built your 32nd one, Bill?
Mm-hmm.
Did you pour the stencils on that?
To be honest, it did. But there's a get out clause to this, because the US Navy Phantoms, when they go out to the carrier, they've usually got them all on, because they've normally been through a lot of maintenance before they go out to the fleet. But has been explained to me by many maintainers in that era, anyway, I can't speak for the newer guys, but the ones from that point of view, has explained to me, like the gentleman who was talking to me, because he worked on that intruder that I did, they get sprayed over, they never get put back on unless it's a danger one. So if you've
Yeah.
got like a hazardous material that comes out of a vent or something else, then they always are put back on. But for general stuff that they all know what it is, if it's like anti-corrosion, they just spray over it and they won't bother putting them back on. But if it's something where it is proper harmful, as most jets have got some gnarly stuff in them, that they then put them back on. But again, that's the thing. It's just one of those things. Some people do it probably a little bit more than others. It's personal choice how they all do it. But so when they've been out on the boat and get really gnarly, then they don't bother putting them back in. So
Like Chris says, Matt don't do a JSDAF one then, because Japanese just cover them, don't they?
yeah,
So are they actually stickers on the real aircraft? I've never
no, they're
actually noticed.
stencils.
I've seen that for the aircraft, but
Yeah.
I've never noticed what the stencils are.
They are just stencils. So normally they're there's two ways of doing it. They usually have them pre-cut, you know, and it's like a sticker, and they'll stick it on, and then normally they'll do it with a sponge. That's what it's explained to me. They just have a bit of paint in a tin, and then just sponge it, and then just peel it off, and that's how they've done it. And then again, obviously the ones where it's like in the fleet, it may be just a case of a mask and then just spray it and then off, and do it literally like that. But the nice ones are normally done apparently with a sponge. So they'll just put one onto it. It's like a vinyl sticker. Put it on, sponge it over it, and then unpeel it, and then it's nice and clean and crisp. But the ones in the fleet, I don't think they're done like that. They're probably just proper stencil, hold it there, spray it, and that'll do. So
I just wondered now, you know, obviously back in like the 60s and stuff, but I wonder if now they've moved to like vinyl. Or
I think probably modern aircraft now probably have like vinyl stickers as well, because not being funny, when we're up at Valley, because remember when we were up there, we were saying, is this in like some foreign language like Welsh? Because we couldn't work it out, wouldn't it? That was a sticker. Because when we was up in the cockpit, I was looking at it and I couldn't work out what language it was in.
Yeah.
And we were trying to work it out, and the funny thing was, we asked everybody in the bloody hangar, and no one knew either. It was like, has it? They work on the things all the time, and they're looking at it going, do you know what? I've never noticed. But they are stickers. They just put them on. It's a vinyl sticker, and they get stuck on.
It was Welsh, wasn't it?
Yeah, but we think it was Welsh that said like, you know, pull here for emergency and all this. But we asked people in there, and they were like, I don't know, never noticed. But yes, it's just in case he comes down in a Welsh farmer's field.
The Airfix kit doesn't have it in Welsh.
No, that's it. That was the point. Right, David says, I just thought I'd mention that I've had a problem mixing Mr. Primer surfacer and self-leveling thinners. It was melted to plastic shot glass. Okay, I'm going to pull this. I reckon glass is not glass. In a few minutes. Normally, I use stainless steel shot glasses. It was a total pain to spray. Mixed up a new batch in a metal cup, exactly the same, no worries. Was surprised how quickly it reacted. If you've got, and to be honest, these ones, the cheap ones, it will eat it instantly and it will go horrible. You actually see it go milky because it will physically eat it and it will melt. So I've had them before. Do you remember I showed you my Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
So when I was building the Millennium Falcon, obviously it's at an angle, and for God knows what reason, I left one of these with leveling thinners in it, like stood on it, and it melted sideways, but luckily it never melted through the actual cup itself, but the cup went down on a slope, and it was like at an angle where it had melted. But luckily it didn't go over, but I came down in the morning and like, what is that? And it was stuck to it. So yeah, lucky with that one, but they will. So as Matt always says, use glass or metal.
All these little these little
mini versions of these.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Yeah, that's what you want. Beakers.
Beakers.
Tiny, but you can get 10 mil versions of these on.
Yeah.
I honestly find the medical ones of these, which are, I think they're made out of the same sort of plastic as your bottles. Are good, but then you get like the hard shot glasses, which you can actually
crap. What you want, my bottles is the same thing. They're impervious to everything. It's what they call HDPE, and that's what is like an industry standard that nothing touches it, and that's why I've got thinners in mine. That's thinners in it.
Yeah.
You know,
these medicine ones I've got, you can literally squash them and they don't break.
Yeah, the other ones, Matt, I don't know if we still sell them in the shop, Matt, but those Rebel ones are good. Maybe you sent me some of them once.
Yeah, we do sell them. Yeah.
We do sell it. We're out of stock.
Oh, right.
stock, but no, we do sell the other ones. Is what I've got here. These ones,
Yeah, that's them.
these little rebel ones, and again, you can wash them out. So you only got to buy a pack of 10, and they'll last you if you clean them and
Yeah.
you know, save the planet and the fishes,
Mm-hmm.
which is the thing you come out with. You know, if you're using acrylics or whatever, you can just reuse them, the reusable ones. So that's
Or
something to remember. You ain't got to just chuck them away.
or use them and chuck them away and keep your favourite model shop in business.
There is
Yes.
that.
And keep
You know,
ordering.
Yeah, keep ordering. Throw it disposable.
And you know, thinking of the environment. All right.
To
be honest,
quick in chat.
Go on.
Quick in chat for Ed says did a quick test on the Tamiya airbrush cleaner. Yes, it does weld plastic, but it's quite hot. I've lost the.
Probably going to melt your
I've lost
plastic.
it.
That's the trouble. I bet it gets loads of shrinkage.
Yes, it's more important though. It has a higher viscosity than Tamiya Extra Clear. I think it means extra thin, limiting the quick flow characteristic of Tamiya Clear. I think it means that.
Yeah.
I think I'll stick to my normal glue.
So it will stick. It's probably it will stick, but yeah.
There's a bit where you come down in the morning and your model's melted.
Yeah.
But we can't get it anyway, so it's in this country, so it's
Academic for the
Yeah.
game
any
model.
point.
Right. Okay. I'm probably with Nathan actually. I'm probably going to get some of those glass ones actually. Talking of going back to shop ones, because I'll give them a whirl.
Get
I know
some,
you can buy them.
Cheap
Funny
shop.
enough, my manufacturer who makes our bottles for us, they do all medical stuff as well, and they do. I call them those tattoo artist cups.
Yeah.
But also they do ones, and they call them like medical dispensers, and it's for pouring down people. They're not cheap stuff, they're quite expensive. But the thing is, when you look at them, they're not disposable. They're too expensive to be disposable. You'd have to look after them and do them like that. But I can have a look at see what they do as well, because as I say, we can just bulk buy thousands like that. Right, Mr. McCluskey says, hi team and Andy. It's not nice, is it? Has anybody used the new glue on the market that you cure with a UV light? Is it any good for our hobby? Rob, where have you been? I've had this for like forever. Again, and I can't remember who, might have been Krista, sent me this one years ago. This is that stuff. Oh god, it's leaking. Ugh. This is Bondic. But now Revel do it, don't they, Matt? We stock it, don't we?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
We do.
Yeah. But the original was Bondic.
The original was Bondic, which if you read the advert that appears on YouTube videos, it's made by a dentist apparently. And then they use the same music and same people that were advertising something else the other day, and I can't remember what it was. And I thought, oh, so hold on, I thought it was a dentist that invented this, but now it turns out, no, anyway, getting sidetracked. But yeah, to be honest with you, I've used it loads and loads of times. It's great for doing small little UV jobs, as in if you were doing aerials, things like that, if you wanted a blob, and then you can set it instantly. It's great for doing lights. If you want to do like nav lights as well, you get little bulges with it, you can then set it instantly. What I don't like about it though is using it for like canopies and stuff, because it only sets what the ultraviolet light hits. So if you've painted your canopy and then put it on there, you're only doing the very edge, and then I've had it before and I've tried it and the canopy's fallen off later on. So it's literally like still chewy, as I call it. It's almost like a gum, because it doesn't actually cure unless the ultraviolet light hits it. But again, I use it on tiny things, and again, it's, to be honest, the last time I used it was for the doors. I had open doors on one of the helicopters, and it's great because you can hold it, get it in there, and then just hit it with the thing, zap zap. It's easier and more forgiving than using super glue. Because obviously if you're in a situation where super glue can fog, this won't fog, and it sets it instantly. You guys ever tried it?
I haven't tried it yet. I want to try it, to be honest. Have you ever tried to use it as a filler?
I have tried it as a filler.
And? Good?
It's not very nice to sand. It's not smooth to sand. It's quite hard,
Right.
actually. It's not as hard as super glue, but again, it's... Yeah, the trouble with it is, or with this one, I can't speak for other ones' versions of it, but this one's quite thick, so it doesn't flow in. So you couldn't use it like for panel lines, because I tried it for filling panel lines once, and I went along with it, and it you know, it didn't go into the panel line. It sort of sat on the surface, and when I sanded it, it just come off. It doesn't have a proper grip bite to the surface either. You have to be a little bit, you know,
Yeah. Okay.
I've got some, but I don't know what I've done with it. And I just had a play with it for a while, and yeah, then obviously put it somewhere and forgot about it. But like you said, as they say up here, it don't stick where the sun don't shine.
Well, this is it. So, I think it's great for various applications, but I wouldn't try it with a canopy. I can't remember which it was now, but I glued down a canopy of a modern jet, and it just fell off. And it was like, and then when I touched it, it was soft. It was hard on one side and soft on the other, and it's like, it's where it hadn't set. It's obviously just sat there forever and doesn't go, because with no ultraviolet, it stays as a liquid or as a chewy thing. So yes. Right, Michael says, hi guys, I have problems cleaning up superglue using a debonder. Is it best to clean up while still wet or wait until it cures? When you say using the debonder, are you on about for clean up around? Because debonder is one of those things, you put it on like I always usually squirt it onto a cotton bud and then rub it, and what happens is that it starts off with, it goes basically soft, and then it goes chewy, then it gets really messy because it's horrible and gunky, and then I normally then switch to a cleaner cotton bud, fresh debonder on it, and rub it, and you can go back down, in our case, to plastic, and it's usually okay with it. The thing is, I find though, is that this is the one I use. Again, I can't speak for everybody else's, but this is Vital Bond's debonder. You have to be very careful near paint and clear parts, because I took off paint with it. It will literally soften paint and it will go through. That was, to be honest, acrylic. But on clear parts as well, it made a bit of a mess and started to fog one of my canopies because I was trying to get a bit off on the side there. So, yeah.
I've got the same as you. I use a paintbrush, to be honest, to just brush it and clean it up with a paintbrush.
Yeah.
Like a smaller one, like sort of an old, well, this is a 00, but 01 even, but, I think that's enough. Trick is to be careful in the first place and not put too much super on.
What one's yours, Andy?
Mine's no nonsense super glue release.
Oh.
But it's like you said, it goes messy first, doesn't it? You just have to then use some more
that level, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather not have to use it than rely on using it. It's just a bit, don't know. Yeah, a bit of a messy thing.
What you got, Nate?
I've never used debonder. I've never used it in all these years. I don't super glue that much, to be honest. Super glue's, I'm not a fan of it. If I can avoid it, I'll avoid it.
Apart from model shows.
Apart from model shows where you've got to put loads of bits on quick. Yeah, that's not the only time I use it.
Rebuilding stuff.
Like your tornado that's...
Yes, like tornado. Yeah.
Just yeah.
Right, Steve says, I'm currently spraying up a car body using Tamiya XF as the base colour. I now want to spray a gloss coat. Can I use car clear lacquer out of a can to do it, or do I need an acrylic gloss? Any advice would be great. Car Guru?
About that.
Yeah, no, you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine with the car lacquer out of the can. We won't go down the other route, but you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine with a aerosol clear coat. No problem.
The problem with aerosols is they come out really quick, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting a balance so you don't get runs and it don't flood. And of the other side of it, you put it on and it goes all peely and horrible.
You could try decanting it and using it through an airbrush.
Yeah.
But yes, to answer his question, he'll be absolutely fine with a can of, if that's the way you go. No problem.
James says, question for Phil, is it best to have a dedicated paintbrush for your washes? No, just don't put your paintbrush in a bottle of wash. Because again, I must admit, we don't really get it anymore, but we used to get a lot of people and they used to say about the wash had gone all clumpy and gritty. Oh, look out.
Oh.
There you go.
Hey, Andy's
got a dedicated brush, apparently.
I've got a dedicated brush for washers.
Oh, right. So it's not so much with this one, but if you've got the old designer bottle, which is probably, 7 years out now, but those ones you didn't like, especially acrylic like airbrush cleaners and stuff like that, because in testing, if you put it into a bottle, it'd literally go like that, and you'd end up with a pile of grit and water. It would separate both of them because the particles all just clump together. They literally just grip and then they fall out of suspension. So you end up with like just water and, you know, clay at the bottom. So I used to advise everybody to actually decant it into something, you know, and then do it. And I think that cured a lot of the problem. And it was my fault, because most cases I would just use a paintbrush, which I used all the time. I used to have one of these with a bit of tape around it, and that was the one I used for wash. So you can do, if you want to put the brush in all the time, but the big problem that you get, if you're using like lacquer thinners and you clean out your brush, even if you've cleaned your brush, you might have something left on it, and then you put it into a bottle and it can contaminate the entire bottle. So that's why I always say it's better to decant. That way you don't need a brush, but if you do want to use something, then you can do, but it's definitely not an essential. It's just that, you know, to be honest, because it's dolphin friendly and you know, tree bark friendly and all the rest of it, that it doesn't like any type of chemicals put into it, and that's the problem. As soon as you start putting paint into it, or, you know, chemicals of any form, it literally just turns to grit and falls out of suspension. It's a delicate item, like me.
Does that mean it brings out the panel lines in dolphins as well then?
Yes, it does. Yes, and tree bark. Robert says, hi, afternoon. Enjoying the afternoon shows in lockdown. Kept me sane whilst building my Tamiya African Twin. I think that's a 1/12 scale.
Motorbike.
Motorbike.
Right, motorbike. And their Caterham multimedia kit. Crikey. You talk about clear coat before and after decals. Which one do you use? I have a problem with acrylic varnishes. The gloss ones are all flat and not gloss. Out comes Andy's GX. So clear coats, as I say, we all, to be honest, because I use it as well, I've got it there. The GX 100 is absolutely beautiful for glossing, no problem at all. I quite like Attackers as well. That's just squirt it in a bottle and spray it, which is really nice. 2-pack's great as well, but we won't talk about that. And yeah, it's one of those ones where it's what works for you. If you're having trouble when it's coming out more flat than gloss, that may be your style of spraying. And it's like we spoke about before, and there's videos on there all about how to gloss and stuff like that, about you're probably a little bit too far away and your air pressure's probably too high. So what's happening is it's drying it en route and you're getting more of a satin finish than a gloss. If you go over and look at the videos, we talk about distance and air pressure and putting down wet coat. So you might start with one like a satin finish, but then the one you go after, you're a lot slower, more close, more positive, you've got a nice wet look, so it's got time to sort of self-level, smooth out, and you'll get a nice glossy finish. And that's what we do. As for before and after decaling, again, decaling is literally, the whole point really is to not allow any air underneath. So if it's a glossy finish, you're not going to get any air underneath the decals, which means you get no silvering. That's all that is. Afterwards isn't totally necessary, because as I say, a lot of the time I don't bother anymore, but it's a good way of sealing the decal down. So if you are using washes, filters, oils, things like that, it stops it getting under the carrier film again. So all you're doing by glossing is stopping things getting under the carrier film. So if you've got a really good fix of decal that's gone down on a glossy surface, I normally never bother overcoating them before I put a wash over it, because the chances are it's not going to get underneath. But chances are, sod's law, it will get underneath and ruin your decal. But don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, no, with the I agree a lot with the gloss coat with what you've just said, or the GX12 again. To be honest, if you go into like, I mean, I've never really had much luck with X22 as a gloss. Never tried that, you know, the Acura stuff in the bigger jars,
Yeah,
the L20 and stuff. I've not tried that, so I can't say if that's any good. But
that one.
I say the GX, yeah, that stuff. I've never tried that. You should
Yeah,
try
I've
that.
tried it.
I've never tried that either.
No.
The thing is, you're going to do that with lacquer thinners, aren't you?
Yeah.
Rather than the Acura thin. And
Yeah.
it's like using X22 with X28. You just don't get a shine.
No.
Whatever it is, it just kills the shine. You might as well just semi-gloss or. And like I say, as for decaling, it's your own choice.
That
really,
smells
isn't it?
just like XF86.
Probably is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably
Is
comes
that
out the same
what
factory.
Okay?
Is that the gloss one? Is that all matte? So
Lost one.
yeah,
I might try this.
You can, if you've got, if I've put a varnish down and it's not quite glossy enough for decals, I'll just polish it up with a sanding stick in the areas where the decals will go to get that really high shine. If I've got a decal that's got lots of carrier film that I know is going to give me massive silvering headaches, I'll try and polish it with a sanding stick first, just in that area.
Yeah.
but there is that, isn't there? Even if you've got a coat of paint, like say it's a matte coat of paint, but it's uber smooth matte, you can decal over that and you won't want silvering.
Yeah. Yeah.
So don't be thinking with this mythic, everything's got to be glossy. It's not about the, because you could have a really glossy paint, but if that's got an orange peel effect, you're going to get silvering.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need a smooth coat of paint, so it makes no difference whether you're matte gloss or semi-gloss. Your paint's got to be smooth to stop silvering.
Like we said before, when I used that the new Mr. Surfacer, and I put self-leveling thinners in with it as well, and I did the Buccaneer with it. That was technically a flat coat, but you could decal on that. It was beautifully smooth. You know, you run your finger over it and it was gorgeous. You know, it was better than anything. It was a really nice, no problem. But again, it is that thing, you know, you need a smooth, like Nathan says, you can just polish the area. If you've got something with not many decals on it especially, you could just literally come along with a polisher, polish the area where that, you know, I don't know, round or whatever's going to go onto it, the insignia, and just go straight onto it then. And then that saves you having to do the entire thing, you know. So it's a good way to do it. It saves a lot of messing around, and that way you can seal it in afterwards with a satin coat maybe, which is less problem to put down, and then obviously it's better for your weathering because it's got something to stick to.
But the other thing as well, for sort of not, I don't think so much for sort of vehicle modelers, but aircraft modelers, you've got to think it panel-wise. The more coats of paint you're putting on, the more you're filling up the detail.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got some of the finer details on the top end kit, you're filling up. You put, because a clear coat can be quite a thick coat of paint, really.
Yeah.
And you put two of them on, that's a, you know, you're layering it up, so you're going to start losing when you put a wash on your detail, really. So,
Yeah, I must confess though, if I've got lots of stencils, I will still put, I use the old Future Gloss polish, I'll put one thin coat of that on. It's not glossy by any means, but I think it just helps take out some of the roughness of the paint a little bit. But I've never got a full high gloss finish to decal. I've never bothered with that.
well, I mean, stencils are the aim for silvering, aren't they? Because they are so small and they've got such a lot of carrier film normally, and they are a pain.
But if I know, like I say, if I know if I've got a decal that's going to give me grief, I will just polish that little bit of it. And once you put a flat coat over the top,
if you're doing, going back to the phantoms and things,
yeah,
you've got no choice to do the whole thing, have you? Because there's that many decals on it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're just doing, I don't know, say, you know, an RF Spitfire, and you've just got literally a couple of roundels to stick onto it, a couple of walkways, then, you know, or like that Gladiator, classic example, it's only got like 6 decals on it. So you would just do it. But if you're doing something that's covered in it or got like long walkways that you've got to put on, like the Tornado, you might as well spray it because it's got covered in it anyway.
Oh, this thing all
Like
on the
that.
wings.
It's all glossy.
Yeah. But on the wings, I mean,
that's it.
up.
So you might as well do the entire thing whilst you're there. So,
well, that's it. But then that's experience, though, of you building an X amount of models to know what you could probably not sort of give a high gloss to, and one you definitely know you're going to need. Sort of modern jets, you've got to, haven't you? Because there's that many stenciled walkways, and you know, and probably airliners are the same. Because you're going to have big decals for, you know, whichever airline it is and all the liveries or whatever. But yeah, it's just experience though.
also as well, it depends on the decal, isn't it? Because if you go back 10 years to the Airfix decals then, and like Revels as well, they were awful because they were that flat finish, and if you put them onto anything, they had like big bulky bits of carrier film around them as well. So if you were doing like a Lancaster, say, and you've got, you know, the tail coding from it, it would be on a decal this long, and it's just a couple of letters, and the rest of it is all carrier film. So what would happen was you put it on, and it would never lay down anyway because they were crap. Modern decals now are a lot better. You know, they actually are usually thinner, they can form better, they don't just sit there and stuff like that. And again, with more modern setting solutions and stuff like that, they bite down better, so you get a less chance of silvering as well. You know, there is exceptions to it, like the Tamiya ones tend to be very thick, and I always find trouble with them bedding down to get them into things. So I usually need a bloody good dose of setting solutions to get them to work. But again, it's one of those, they're getting better. Airfixes now are really, really good, as we know they're cartograph these days. You know, and Revels are definitely looking better. So it's not as problematic as it used to be back in the day.
No. Like I said, I think a lot of companies use cartograph now.
Yeah, that's it. You don't blame them. I must admit, I didn't realise Airfix did all theirs through them now, but they do. So,
as I say, it's all been kind of standardised for the companies to use cartograph decals, isn't it? Which is good for the modeller, because you know you've got a decent. Well, I think Andy will obviously tell me different here because of his 109, but. You know, let's say 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a good set of decals.
Yeah, to be honest with you, if I ever see it and it says, you know, cartograph, you know you're okay. You know, it's not going to be a problem. Some other companies you look at, you think, shit, it's going to be fun, but you know.
I did the Edard 32nd 109. Yeah, the one that's won competitions and things.
What, the award-winning model?
Yeah. And they were cartograph decals, and they were absolutely horrible. Seriously. In fact, they were that bad. Nathan actually sent me his, so I could finish off, didn't you?
Yeah.
Or was that just user error?
Hey,
Bad batch.
hey, yours weren't much better either. They were just so thick and glossy. They were horrible. I've never seen anything like it before. Well, I have, but yeah, not from
Not from
cartograph.
them. Yeah.
Perhaps that had been outsourced to somebody else.
Yeah, possibly. They were horrible. They were.
Yeah, I remember you
I've
struggling.
got it at the printers.
Yeah. Can we just get a quick question out of chat?
Yeah.
Trevor says, trying to get the top and bottom of a trumpeter 172nd TU 160 together, but the top is warped and won't meet the bottom unless I use elastics to hold it in place. I'm worried that after gluing and painting in the future it will split apart again. Well, it will split apart. How will stop this, and what's the strongest glue to bond the edges with together?
To be honest, obviously I've got that kit as well. It is a big lump. You've got a lot of surface contact area. As long as you're using a weld action glue, I don't think it'll break apart. You should be able to be honest, most of the older Rebel kits, I had it with the Bear as well. Some of the things, you put them together loosely and they're nowhere near it. But actually when you glue them down and they've gone in, they're okay. Like the wings on it to start with, like that. And you're thinking, Jesus. And then, but obviously by the time you get them together, they are straight. You know, this is the same thing. These were a little bit weird before you put it together, but it's got quite a shape to it now, so it seems to be okay. So, but again, I think there's a good surface contact with there. As long as you're using like a Contactia glue, weld action glue, or, you know, something, you'll be fine. If you're using like a super glue, you know, you might find it pings through a shock. You know, it takes an impact, or if you're holding it, you can pinch and crack it, and then because it's under load as well, it might pop. But I should think, you know, I would literally clamp the bloody thing together, use Contactia glue or thick glue, run around all around it, get it together, band it, whatever it needs to hold it in place. Then once it's done, go along with it before you unband it, because what it happens is with extra thin, it will then remelt even Contactia. So, you know, you want to leave it all sort of semi-clamped up and then go around and just weld it again, just to bead it in, and it should be absolutely fine. I wouldn't worry too much about it. You know, plastic, although it might seem to be very springy, once it's all glued in, it's pretty good. Don't know. What do you guys reckon?
Just exactly the same. I think it shouldn't have a problem really. Once you weld action it together, it'll melt together.
Like I said, they melt it together, don't they? So they're not going to.
If you can't get clamps on, you can always work in stages and glue the front end.
Yeah.
Reset and then work backwards if you haven't got enough clamps or can't get the clamps on.
If you have a look at when I did like the B17 and I went round, I showed it in there, and like to get this top piece to sit nicely, because obviously there's no filler or anything on this. I'm quite impressed with it, but again, it's where you take your time. So I glued the front bit to this window, and then we left it, came back about 3 hours later, then I did round the other side about halfway, and then obviously we left it. So this is dry enough for this to be able to be put in right, and then the last bit was just need a little bit of squishing, just a tiny bit of pushing, so it had nothing, you know, there's no, you know, marks or lines in it at all, and then glued that up and then undid it and it was all fine. So sometimes it's a lot better to work in stages, shall we say. This thing, because it was horrible and crap, I spot welded it, as I call it. So what happens is I literally pinch it together, we get it together, I get a bit of super glue, put it on there, kicker, and that's there. Then I move along, and so I can see where it was here. So then I did there, then I did the one at the front, and then I did the nose. So I've spot welded it with super glue all in. Then I did on top, so we went along and did a few spots onto it. Then I came in with extra thin, and then ran extra thin all the way into it. And if you wanted to, and I probably have done now, because I've been back in, as you can see, this is coat, God knows what, 5 of this now. But it is that thing, you'll probably sand off the super glue anyway, so you've down in past it, and then obviously it's been welded on top of it. So it should be as strong as you like, you know, it shouldn't be a problem. But you can actually spot, I call it spot welding with super glue, just to hold it all in place. So you've got it all in the right areas and it's all level and it's good. And then glue afterwards as well. But I think it's, if you're doing something like that, you know, so I think we covered it with the bear and all the big stuff. I tend to show it of just working in sections as you're gluing around going in, because it's all too, you know, easy just to glue the entire thing, get out and do it, and then you end up with a step somewhere where one side's higher than the other. And again, if you take your time and got it nice, it'll save a lot of filling and sanding and messing around later on. So although it might take you, you know, 3 or 4 hours or a day to do the entire thing, you've got no real massive sanding gaps. And like me and Matt were talking about earlier, we were talking about how we quite enjoy scrape cleaning now. You know, B17's classic, little bit of scrape cleaning, job done. No real filler in that at all, you know, so that was a nice way of dealing with it all.
I'm going to say it's worth taking your time when you're joining the halves together to get it, like you say, as level and as flush as you can, because it saves you a hell of a lot of work when it's cured.
Yeah, something like this is a classic example, is because it was never going to be nice, you know, but again, I did my best to get it as good as it could possibly be. But the B17, you know, with this one, that's paid off because there's still no filler. It's got a tiny little bit here, and it's got a tiny little bit on this tail area up here. Underneath it's got a few little just spots and pieces, but there's nothing really in there, you know. But again, it could have been a bit of a nightmare, because I did notice going together it needed just a little bit of finesse of just pushing up one side and then getting it level, and then, you know, if you left it, it would drop again. So you need to, and as I say, doing it in sections, that saved a lot of mess. And again, it's loads of riveting on that, and if you end up having to redo it all, so hopefully I've saved a lot of time having to re-rivet it, because most of it's fine, just need a couple of little bits and that's it.
I'm going to say the worst ones are things like this, you know, like the squarish ones.
Yeah.
A flat bottom and a flat top.
Yes.
They're the ones you want level, because if you get a step in one of them, you're just, oh god, they're in a date to get rid of. And to be honest, you're going to cause yourself a lot of hassle with probably sinking and all sorts, sink marks, and this ain't perfect. To be perfect, I was looking at it now, you can see like a ghost seam down the middle of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
That's the trouble, because you've left it a while now. You can see all your things.
Yeah, but to be honest with you though, it would left ages when I glued it together and sanded it. Like, I mean, months and months, because I lost interest in it. But yeah, it's looking a bit gashed, to be honest. Oh my god, there's a proper one here. It's like the lacquer paint's eating into it.
Yeah,
maybe it could be the lacquers have gone into it.
Yeah, it has. It's especially underneath. I've got a proper seam line underneath where it's eating into it. Never noticed that. Oh dear. All right, carry on. We'll move along.
That's going to sit on the shelf now.
that's done. That is, yeah. That's been fodder.
Okay, so John says, "Hi Phil, building a smaller Revel Star Destroyer that you built a few years ago, would you use white or buff to represent the lights, etc., or would you use your and would you use your wash first or after they are painted? Loving the shows, John." Again, you know, obviously, well, you've seen mine. That little one we did as quick build. The kids' toy one we did the conversion on. Again, with something like that, you could just literally just go along. I say the trouble is, if you use white, it's going to look very strong. So I'd probably use more like a buff, or what's it called, deck tan. I quite like that. Deck tan is your friend. I had it here the other day because we were talking about it. There you go, XF55. You know, because again, it's got, you know, it's quite a nice, not in your face colour. It's enough to show against contrast colours and stuff like that. So
yeah, deck tan's a colour. Yeah,
go with deck tan, I think, on that one. Roger, any news in the bottles? We spoke about that earlier. Phil, have you built the Russian Ural 4320 off-road truck already, or is it still in the future menu? Looking forward to the truck build. No, it's still there, and I'm going to do it. That'll be this year. As I say, going to get these big ones out of the way, and then we're going to go through some ones. But I'm going to do it because, funny enough, I was looking at that Monday. I think it was. I got them out. I was having a bit of a move round, and I quite fancy that still. Still like to own one. I think it'd be really cool.
So wait, I gonna do it then.
Hold on. Start again because it sounds like you're having a stroke.
You can.
Hold on.
It's like he's having a stroke, isn't it?
No.
No.
Question.
Hold up a sign.
Right,
What's
carry
Matt
on.
back? What scrapers do you like using then if you're into your scrape cleaning?
Yeah, take your pick. So
One of them.
yeah, I like the display lethal thing because I'll tell you what, I've been using it all the time on this. It's great.
That's well, that's more of a carving tool apparently, because that's what, like, when I do my figures to sharpen up the detail on plastic figures, because you can get it in and scribe it and scrape the seams.
But you can carve with these as well. So one of these windows,
Yeah.
they were full up. I literally went in and just went like that and hooked them out, and it was cutting, and it cuts as well as it doesn't just scrape it off a bit. It's all physically cut as well. So yeah, they are lethal. But that, to be honest, a blade is just as good as any other tool you're probably going to get out there. But for them, usual thing, I must admit, I've got my Alex scrapers, which I really like as well. So I've been using those all the time on this. Next week, you'll get a part on. We talk about the wings and how to do the seams and everything. And we show about using scrape cleaners all the way through that. But you know, there's various tools out there, and to be honest, me and Matt have got some coming in because we quite like them. We've got into it, so watch this space. But they look really, really nice. They will be winging their way here shortly, so when they get them in, I'll do a little bit of a review on them and show you. But again, I know I flog sanders, and you think, but I actually do more scrape sanding, scrape cleaning than I do sanding these days. As funny as it sounds, so.
And I was just about to say, scraping is no substitute for using sanders.
No. Well, you still need sander because when you're down to this level of finishing, you need a sander because you can't scrape this anymore. But for general getting into stuff, it's scrape cleaners. I quite like doing it that way.
It's quite relaxing as well in a weird way. It's quite soothing, isn't it?
It's not as messy either because, to be honest, when you see this video, you'll see it. I look down in, you can see it. It's just shavings, and you just go like that and then bin it. It's not like dust and crap everywhere, you know.
Have you got any scraping tools then? You two?
I've got the IPMS one.
I've got all these thingy ones. I've got this fantastic tool,
A scalpel.
scalpel.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, it works. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. I've got
I've got that.
I've got the Citadel
Yeah.
one. I say I've got all the Alex scrapers.
The U-Star ones are good as well. I've got a load of them. The Alex scrapers. I prefer the U-Star one's really sharp. It's like bloody lethal. I've cut myself on it, to be honest. I stabbed myself with this pointy end once. That's why I don't really use it anymore. These ones are really nice. But again, you could just use a blade. And to be honest, me and Matt have got some tools coming in which are more, you know, just like for grabbing hold of it and go through. That's why I quite like the look of it. Matt's got one anyway that he's been playing with. And you can throw it at people, apparently.
Well, yeah, this is.
Go on, showing your ninja Death Star equipment. There you go.
Is that the trumpeter one?
There you go. That'll work.
Yeah,
got one.
You know what? They're brilliant. That is. Trumpeter's done a version of this. This is the Mindshima one, the Japanese original, I think, and then obviously Trumpeter's done their versions.
They're really sharp. Them things. I've got one of them somewhere. It's lethal.
But it's really good. It's a really, really useful tool. I mean, again, I only seen it because I was watching the Japanese YouTube program and a guy was carving figures, I think he was doing, or something like that. And I seen it. Oh, that's one of them. I need one of them. So I hunted round for it and got it out of Japan. But it's a really, really useful bit of kit. I have to say, it's good for all sorts.
They're saying in chat that no one's got those display scrapers anywhere. And Keith says, if you can get display stuff, can you get the scrapers?
Yes, we will get. Yes. Well, yes. It's something in the pipeline, isn't it, Mr. Phillip?
Yes, it is.
But there's other scrapers as well coming. Which
we've got other scrapers coming from a different source.
Yeah.
And then, as I say, yeah, the display stuff, maybe by appearing near a shop near you
Yes.
soon.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, Brett says, hi Phil, I did put this in chat too. I'd like to give Brett at High Altitude Hobbies a shout out. My Flory Sanders order has arrived. Thanks, Brett. It took a while, but that's just the way it is these days. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool. Well done. Good old Brett. I will get a restock to Brett just as soon as I've got some stock. So, yes, if I could get some stock, I could stock the stockists. They're all out at the moment. Ed says, Phil and team did a quick test using the... Oh, right. Okay, so that's that one. Right, we've already done that one. Yeah, viscosity, that's the one we talk about. I used the tops off my wife's cosmetics bottles. Good plastic never smells. Hey, what? Good plastic never smells. What, you sniff bottle tops? Okay.
Who's that?
That's Roger.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay. Everyone needs a hobby.
Whatever you want to do at weekend.
But yes, I suppose, you know, at the end of the day of upcycling, isn't that what they call it? Not recycling, it's upcycling, isn't it? When you nick other things to do the job.
It's going to end up in the bin otherwise as an empty bottle, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. It'll end up in the sea.
I mean, bottle, plastic bottle tops, like off water bottles.
I do.
Yeah.
Brilliant for putting super glue in and,
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
mine's got
Beer
silver.
tots. I've got a drawer full of them.
Yeah.
Not that I'm an alcoholic. This is when you lot come down at the summer.
Is it?
One for Nathan, posted in YouTube chat. But anyway, is the Revel 1/72 GR1 Tonka the best in scale?
Yes.
Yes.
One word answer, it is.
Question for Matt.
I
What
just
is
say,
the
nice
AK
t-shirt?
Interactive Winter Weathering Set? I've been looking at it on the PM store, but there is no picture.
So have we not put a picture on?
Apparently not.
And it.
Tuh.
What was that? The AK weathering.
Yeah, the
Winter
winter weathering
weathering
set.
picture
See,
on
you
that.
just can't get the staff, can you?
Yeah, namely me.
Yeah. If it doesn't work, ask Andy.
What's that in? What were we looking?
AK bit. Of course, say the jury's out with these pencil things. I don't know if I really need to sort of, because the colour I actually wanted to use I haven't got. To be honest, I wanted the dust colour and I ain't got it.
I think I've not got good results from them, but I think I need to spend a bit of time having a...
I think it is. It's one of them you need to sort of watch a few tutorial videos and then probably not go with something like I'm nearly finished on my kit and going with something I don't know how to use is not a good idea. I could do with a buster, but I ain't really got a buster for armour.
Sorry, Roger. Apparently it says it never melts, not smells. Sorry. Do apologise. Long day.
Yeah, and he can't read. Yeah.
Kevin S says, hi everyone. Paints arrived yesterday, Matt.
Okay, thank you. Good stuff, good stuff.
How comes he's Kevin S and then he signed it K Steele?
Kevin
Kevin
Steele.
Steele. Ah, right. So look, we could change it.
Kevin
So,
S.
so he's got K Steele down the bottom and Kevin S at the top. Brilliant.
That's how he rolls.
I think we are, that's a bit there. Right, YouTube, if you just got some questions, you want to shout them out right now, we'll just do a quick 5-minute fire round and then we're out of here. Phil, I'm working on the Bandai 144 Falcon. Love using your vids as refs. Yes, I've done them all now, and now we've done the big one as well. Phil, can we get the new cards that come with the Sanders on their own? Question I asked in Flory chat. Cheers, John. At the moment, no. Again, I had a limited number done, which is these ones. Okay. To go in the sets whenever they arrive. I'm waiting to arrive. A lot of it was that, to be honest, like a lot of you probably know, this is a brand new printer to us, so I wasn't sure what was going to turn up, if I'm honest. Not that I had any doubts whatsoever, but I wasn't going to put an order in for like 10,000 of them to find out they're crap. So I did a limited run of 250 just to see what they're like, and then yeah, they're all very good. We got some new ones for the PM store and with Flory models as well. There's a joint one as well, which looks like that these days. Got the PM logo and details at the bottom as well. So yes, So we're all posh. But now I know they're right and they're a good colour and quality and all the rest of it. They're quite nice. But the great thing with these is obviously it's got the card with all the sanders on the back with the grits, so you can see, and it's quite nice because you can hang it up and it looks like that. So yes. So now we know it's all good and it works. I'll get some more done. And when we get some more done, what I'll do is I'll probably chuck them in with orders and things like that, as we normally do. Because at the moment you get that one with every order anyway, but for the sander ones, they'll get that one in there as well. DJ says, question, I need a recommendation on a good drill bits for use with modelling. I'm tired of mine snapping under minimal pressure. Okay, I take it you mean the small, ickle, tiny ones. To be honest with you, a lot of it is lateral force. As soon as you put in any type of sideways movement, they snap. They're fine going in and out, don't like going side to side very much. And that's just the thing, there's not much material. The more you spend, the better they'll be. If you're buying cheap bits, then you're going to get cheap stuff. To be honest with you, one of the better ones is... Do we flog these? We should do. Do we?
We've got something really good.
Hey, I'll tell you what, let Nathan tell you about this one. Because
Right.
he's the master with drill bits, aren't you? And we sell them, or they should be, I think they're on site.
You've definitely had them in the shop now if that's there.
Oh God, hey, no.
What?
No. They're not.
The T ones.
Yeah, the Tamiya ones.
Have they gone?
No.
The Tamiya drill bits are brilliant.
Oh right, I haven't got any of them.
I'll tell you what, the
Really,
bloody shop, they're lethal, aren't they?
They're not cheap. They cost £4-ish, £5 per bit. You can buy a set, but they are amazing. And I've not broken one yet. I'm being very gentle with them, not to put that lateral force on. But what have we got them here? I mean, they're too small to show on camera, but they're fantastic. Dead sharp.
What are they barking at?
I don't know. Must be the people over the road. As I say, the other half's not due home till midnight, so...
It's the postman bringing you that mass set.
Yeah, because my mail said, sorry it's late.
Yeah.
So yes.
No, the Tamiya ones are
So
supposed
the Tamiya ones are very nice, but also I must admit, these are just micro box do them. It's the HSS bits from 0.3 to 1.6 mil. To be honest, they're quite good. But like you, I've bought bags of cheap, little ones. Molly! And Molly! Wait. Sorry, do apologise. It's the staff. Oh God, don't come in here.
Molly!
Say hello. Ah. And this is Molly. This is Lola. Molly's now just stood at the window barking. Molly, give it a break. Go and tell her. No? See, I'm not going. Might be scary. But yeah, so I bought bags of those real cheap ones off the internet, and they're like one twist and they break. They're just useless, but you do pay for what you get, obviously. And the Tamiya ones sound very expensive, but as I say, if they don't break, they're worth their money. Mole, come here.
Can I just say that the AK winter weathering set has now got a
Picture.
Molly, come here.
They're the bigger ones, aren't they?
Yeah, I've got loads of them.
Yeah,
PCB
I've got
ones,
loads of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come here. Fell off.
Right,
Right,
they don't last very long.
Yes.
No.
But
I've
actually,
actually, Tamiya drill bits last at least a year or two now.
yeah,
Breaking.
I think they're probably a bit. Oh, that's
Yeah,
not
see,
bad.
I've got some of them, but to be honest, all the little ones I've broke. If you
Yeah,
want to go
what
down the
is
other
that?
route, of course, the display.
Can I just say, if you've got one of them, they
Well,
last
yeah.
a lot longer.
Do they?
Well, yeah, because you're not sort of. You've got a lot
you do
of
shove
control.
in and that's it. But obviously,
Well,
display do a set as well. They're quite nice, and I
Yes.
haven't broken any of those yet. But again, that's with a handle and an entire kit with it as well. So
Yeah.
Just designed to be used by like robots that will drill perfectly
yeah,
vertically, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, because they're for circuit boards, aren't they?
Yeah. You see them. I've seen like a robot, and they're all lined up, and it picks them up and puts in hundreds of volts quicker than you can blink, really.
yeah.
But they are good. The bigger sizes are good because they are really sharp.
Yes.
Those CCB drill bits, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Right, will there be a show on Saturday night? Yes, there will. We'll be on 7 till whenever. Question. I need... Oh, no, we've just done that one. Phil, Vallejo... I don't know what's up with my dogs tonight. They're going proper mental.
Oh, sure, let's go and have a look. Just
I
in
might
case.
have a look at this point. Somebody
Just
making
in
off with the
case,
car.
you know, you've got somebody coming in who you shouldn't have. No, they've done go mad, have they? So,
Not out there, have they?
not for a long time, no, not for that long. I'd say there'd be somebody in his garden. I bet it's a cat or something in the garden.
What it is, we've got a big lorry at the front. One of my neighbours is having something delivered. So we got a 7.5 tonner out the front of the house and they're offloading something.
At 9:30 at night. Oh,
I know.
there's Sam. Sam's just emerged.
Oh, look.
Who's Sam?
Sam is just somebody's just walked behind you. Unless you-
Sam.
Yeah.
If someone you've not seen since the start of lockdown.
Yeah, it's the first time he's come out since March. Phil, Vallejo, does it have glass 36170 in the range? Right, okay, where's that come from? Was that a question?
We were talking about
We were talking about had glass the other day, weren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Let's say that's a new one on me because I must admit I haven't used Model Air for years now. Any recommendations on where to get a custom decals for the D'Agostini Millennium Falcon in 1:43 scale? No idea. I'm sure somebody on the aftermarket will do one.
Who's that company that does all the sci-fi aftermarket stuff?
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, I'll shut the door. It's making a lot of difference. They're trying to eat the people. But yes, I know you mean, Matt. There's that company, they just do all sci-fi stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, all photo etch and extras, don't they?
Yeah, I can't think. You probably have to Google it, wouldn't you, and have a look.
Yeah, Fantasy Print Shop is one question. Somebody saying maybe. Good point.
Probably. Yeah. I don't know.
I've got minimum print runs.
Can you recommend a 1/72 B24 kit? Hasagawa?
Yes. Hasagawa's. Actually, to be fair, the Academy one's not that bad because you've built that. It's behind you up on your.
It is. It's up here in about 8 foot of dust.
Chris is shouting out Paragraphics on our forum. Is that the sci-fi company?
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
look
think
at
it is
that for
actually,
winter camo.
Oh my god. That
Yes.
needs a dust.
It needs more than a dust. I don't know where my front
Shower.
turret's gone. I'll tell you what, I must have put a hell of a nose weight in this. This thing weighs a ton. But
Hey,
yeah,
just put it up to the VC10.
the same scale.
Yeah, it's a little.
That
It's a
looks
bit
tiny.
littler, isn't it?
yes.
But that's not bad.
Is it?
What?
Yeah. I was going to say, is this 144? No, it must be 72nd.
That's so second, that
Hold
is.
on, let me look through the cockpit windows to see what's inside it. Oh yeah, it is. Seats are the same size. But yeah, I must admit this one's not a bad one. But actually, I think out of the two, if you're going to do it, because this was the Edard did a boxing of it, didn't they?
Yeah.
This is what this
yeah.
one is. I think the Hasegawa one's probably got the edge on it.
Yeah, but it's expensive.
That's it.
Yeah, the Hasagawa one's expensive. Because that's the one about the Reeboks, Edard Reeboks Hasagawa one, didn't they? Is the Coastal Command ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know where there's one that's coming up for sale soon, isn't there, Nathan?
Is there Nate? Nate's got one in his collection.
That exact kit that you've built there, Phil, is
Oh,
currently
right.
It's sat
pending part,
waiting.
isn't it?
It's sat waiting. Actually, somebody wants to buy your F16. I'll talk to you about it after the show.
Okay.
Phil and group, I bought some metal tracks for my Tiger 2 tank. Which paints are best for them?
It's not. You want burnishing fluid, and then or blacken it, or one of them fluids to basically corrode them, and then go on for whatever way whether your tracks, as in the pigments or the stuff I was using yesterday, that sort of acrylic paste, whatever, Phil's wash, but you want some black in it.
Yeah. Well, if you wash them first though,
Yeah.
in water, then use a burnishing fluid, because if it's got any oils or grease or anything on it, and the burnishing fluid can't get into it, that leaves tide marks on it, doesn't it? But yeah, burnishing fluid.
Yeah. Definite. That's the way to go with metal tracks.
Etches it.
It does, yeah, basically. Yeah. So it's just a mild acid, isn't it, really?
Yeah, that's all it is. There's two ones here: red strawberry or green strawberry for the sci-fi kit. Because somebody's saying red strawberry, then somebody else said green strawberry. So take your pick. It's definitely a strawberry company, but apparently they do that one.
All right, okay. Thought we was on like Ready Steady Cook, don't they?
Well, this is it. Hold up your cards. You a green pepper?
Yeah.
Phil and team, can you recommend the Iwata Eclipse HPCS? Isn't that my one?
I've got no idea.
Can't remember which one I've got now.
It's that again. This is
So bloody many, ridiculous. Anybody in there?
Go back into the red cheeks.
Yes.
Has this beard? Has it grown back yet? No. And
It's getting that way.
Yes, it's a beautiful airbrush. Really, really great. No problem at all with it. It does exactly what it says on the tin. The only drawback to it is obviously it doesn't have a Mac valve built in, and you can't change the color cup. It's fixed, which is pretty standard for those. But generally, it's very, very nice. No problem at all. This one obviously has the floating nozzle, if I can get it off. So it has the floating nozzle design. So if you do screw it up, you've only got to buy that bit instead of the entire body going back and stuff like that. So yes, but no, it's a lovely airbrush. Would I buy one? I would probably not. I would probably get its knockoff rival. I don't know if it is a knockoff, but yes,
knockoff, is it?
the knockoff-ish, and go for the you know, a Procon 2 sent me, because honestly, from a feeling point of view, I can't feel the difference. They feel exactly the same. That trigger pull is exactly the same as what is on the Procon, and that's why I've always said the internals are exactly the same. It feels exactly just like it, apart from it hasn't got the Mac valve, which is a bit of a bugbear really, because I think you pay more for this than you do for that. So you're basically getting the same airbrush without it, and also this one doesn't have a lock on the back, so you can't set your trigger. Where obviously she should be cleanish. Is it clean? My word, look, I've almost cleaned it. It's only a little bit of paint left in it. But yeah, so really you've got this. They are extremely similar, apart from obviously Mac valve lock, no Mac valve lock, but internally they feel almost identical, you know. So yes, bit weird, but I don't know how much a CS is these days. But it's a really, really nice airbrush. It's typical Iwata quality all the way through. But honestly, have a look at a Procon. I know lots and lots of people have got pre-orders in with us and all the rest of it for them. But it, you know, it just floats, ticks all my boxes. Like seriously, like, I can honestly say, hand on my heart, on my doggy's life, that if anything happened to that airbrush, I'd immediately go out and buy another one. I wouldn't even think about buying anything else. And yet I've got other airbrushes down there, but I would buy one again because it's that nice. So I think that's a testimony to it. How would you clean that just finished, Phil? I don't understand the question. How would you clean that to just finished? Give us some more info, Daryl.
It's talking about your B25.
Oh right. How would you clean it? I would literally, because it's proper dirty. I'll tell you what, watch this space. I'll do a video on it. I won't clean it. I'll keep it. I'll do it tomorrow. Must admit, I've got to go to see the in-laws tomorrow. But I will show you how I clean that. It will be airbrushed first, and then it will be brushed, and then it will be soapy water job, and then dried. We'll and go through it like that. It should be fine. It's only been up there for the last 10 years, so. But I'll do a little video on it because it's quite a good one to show, really, because it is caked.
Then tears, super glue, and repaint.
Yeah, in fact, I've got to find. I don't know where the nose is. I don't know where the front turret is. It must be up there. I assume I've clipped it with the A10, getting the A10 up and down because we did the A10 the other week, didn't we? But I will sort that one out. Which company makes the best Eurofighter in 1/48 scale? There's only one. That's Rebel.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's your only option. Lots of you got the Procon and say it's great. got the Mac valve on my air hose, which is what we spoke about before. You can do that as well. On the plain fill, yeah, I get you now. We're okay. I'll do a video on it. Good video subject. Indeed, I will. Sorted. Right, are we all sorted and done, did people?
I've got one quick question. I don't know if Matt's ready to answer it or not. David's asking if there's any update on the Attacker bottle problem.
It's with Attacker at the minute. Yeah, I chucked it over to Attacker. Hopefully we're going to hear back soon, to be honest. Properly, hopefully we're going to hear back soon. So just bear with me for a little bit longer about it. If not, then we'll have to sort it out. Hey, oh.
She's right. I won't call you. Yeah, someone's forgot. She needed quite a ringtone, really. Anyway, well, she thinks we finished, you see, so that's what that'll be. Yes, quick one there is, does Matt stock the bottled Tamiya surface primer that I use? You can only see it on Amazon. Yes, we do. The Mr. Primer Surface 1000. We got any in stock, Matt?
Should be in primers.
If you look at primers on the PM store, we're out of stock anyway. But hopefully,
out of stock, but we do stock it, but we're out of stock. I think they're having another delivery, so hopefully as well I'll get some more airbrushes on the week commencing the 15th. So again, I will try again to get some more airbrushes and primers and stuff we're out of stock of. GX100, because I know we're out of that, so tons of that stuff. Usual stuff that we have, but yeah, again, I'll see what we can get in for that.
And just the last one, Brian says, this will date me. I have a collection of the old 35mm film containers, which are impervious to lacquers, easy to clean out, mix all my paint in them, had them for years. There's a good one.
Not bad shout.
Yeah, I've
good shout on that one.
Hundreds of those away.
Yeah, good one to end on that one. Right, there we go then, guys. If we're all done, seeing as we've almost gone an hour over, shouldn't bad.
Oh, that's not value for money there, eh?
That's it. I don't know how we do it sometimes. Anyway, we will be back with you. Obviously, I'll be back on with you tomorrow afternoon for the Roundup Week show. I will promise, and it will be up tomorrow, definitely, for part 1 of the VC10, and then I'll put the others up all next week, so you almost get one every day next week. It's just I haven't had time to go on the site and update it and build the page for it and then link it across and do all the bits and pieces, because it takes a bit of time to do that one, because I've been doing pigments today. But I will get them sorted. We'll get the orders out for you tomorrow as well, so we'll be with you, and then the guys will be back on with you again live on Saturday night. So if you'd like to come along and join us, that'd be fantastic. Right, I'm going to have to go, guys, because I'm going to have to answer this, because it might be important. Right, thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye. Bye.